Hey guys, it's me, Eden here. Today I have how fat I get. I'm 38. $41, 38 in here. Okay. There's a recipe on the side of this, no new. For meatloaf. And you all know how much I love meatloaf. I'm not saying that anybody should request a set from eating meatloaf. Oh, God. Hurts.
Here's a list and description of some of the most beautiful mountains in the United States, renowned for their natural beauty, grandeur, and popularity among travelers and adventurers. 1. Denali, Mount McKinley, Alaska. Height 20,310 feet, 6,190 meters. Denali is the tallest mountain in North America and a crown jewel of Alaska's wilderness. Towering above the tundra, it is a majestic peak surrounded by glaciers, alpine forests, and rugged terrain. It's located in Denali National Park, offering incredible opportunities for wildlife viewing and adventure. 2. Mount Rainier, Washington. Height 14,411 feet, 4,392 meters. An iconic stratovolcano, Mount Rainier is blanketed in snow and glaciers. It's part of the Cascade Range and is visible from Seattle on a clear day. The surrounding national park features alpine meadows, wildflowers, and over 260 miles of hiking trails. 3. Mount Whitney, California. Height 14,505 feet, 4,421 meters, the highest point in the contiguous U.S., Mount Whitney sits on the eastern edge of California's Sierra Nevada. It's popular among hikers, especially those finishing the John Muir Trail. The scenery is rugged and dramatic, offering panoramic views from the summit. 4. Grand Teton, Wyoming. Height 13,775 feet, 4,199 meters, located in Grand Teton National Park. This sharply rising peak is known for its stunning silhouette and glacial carved landscape. It offers breathtaking alpine views, crystal clear lakes, and is popular for climbing, photography, and wildlife encounters. 5. Mount Elbert, Colorado. Height 14,440 feet, 4,401 meters. As the tallest mountain in the Rocky Mountains, Mount Elbert is surprisingly accessible. Surrounded by the beauty of Colorado Lake County, it offers sweeping views, alpine lakes, and a wide range of flora and fauna. 6. Maroon Bells, Colorado. Height 14,163 feet, 4,317 meters. Arguably the most photographed mountains in North America, the twin peaks of the Maroon Bells rise above Maroon Lake near Aspen. In autumn, the golden aspens turn the valley into a painter's paradise. 7. Mount Hood, Oregon. Height 11,240 feet, 3,400. This dormant volcano dominates the Portland skyline. It's a year-round destination for skiing, snowboarding, and hiking. With stunning views, alpine lakes, and historic lodges like Timberline. 8. Mount Shasta, California. Height 14,179 feet, 4,322 meters. An awe-inspiring volcanic peak in Northern California, Mount Shasta is surrounded by myths and spiritual lore. Its snow-covered summit and the surrounding wilderness make it a haven for climbers, campers, and nature lovers. 9. Mount Michel, North Carolina. Height 6,684 feet, 2,037 meters. The highest peak east of the Mississippi River, Mount Mitchell is part of the Appalachian Mountains. Despite its moderate elevation compared to western peaks, it offers stunning panoramic views and lush green forests. 10. Mount Baker, Washington. Height 10,786 feet, 3,288 meters. Known for having some of the highest snowfall in the world, Mount Baker is a glacier-covered volcano in the North Cascades. It's beloved for its beauty, recreational skiing, and scenic hiking routes. 11. West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, Mount Rainier. Iconic snow-capped volcano, visible from Seattle. Mount St. Helens, famous for its 1980 eruption. Now a natural laboratory. Mount Adams, less visited, glacier-covered, and perfect for climbers. Mount Hood, Oregon's tallest peak, year-round skiing and hiking. Mount Shasta, CA, a massive volcanic peak in Northern California. Mount San Antonio, Mount Baldy, CA, sized in Southern California near Mount Whitney, CA, highest point in the contiguous U.S. in the Sierra Nevada. Half Dome and El Capitan Yosemite, CA, iconic granite formations loved by climbers. 12. Rocky Mountains, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. Mount Elbert, carbon monoxide, bias in the Rockies. Relatively accessible height. Maroon Bells, carbon monoxide, extremely photogenic twin peaks near Aspen. Long's Peak, a popular and challenging hike in Rocky Mountain National Park. Grand Teton Way, rugged and majestic, perfect for climbing and photography. Gannett Peak Way, highest in Wyoming, remote and wild. Bora Peak, the highest in Idaho, known for its sharp ridge. Granite Peak Mount, Montana's highest, very remote and technical. 13. Southwest Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah. Hombres Peak, highest in Arizona, part of San Francisco Peak. Wheeler Peak, in the Sangre de Cristo Range, part of the Rockies. Mount Charson Envy, near Las Vegas, with forests and hiking trails. Cian and Rice Canyon Ridge, UT. Unique red rock cliffs and mesa. La Salle Mountains, UT, near Moab, often snow-capped, above Red Desert. 14. Alaska. Denali, aka tallest in North America, remote and awe-inspiring. Mount Foraker, aka near Denali, part of the Alaska Range. Mount St. Elias, second highest in the U.S., on the border with Canada. Mount Redoubt, aka active volcano in the Aleutian Range. 15. Pacific Islands, Hawaii, Mauna Kea, high dormant volcano. Highest point in Hawaii, Mauna Loa High, world's largest volcano by volume. Haleakala, volcanic peak with a massive crater and sunrise views. 16. Midwest. Eagle Mountain MN, highest in Minnesota, surrounded by forest and lakes. Black Elk Peak, SD, sacred site in the Black Hills with great views. Porcupine Mountains, forested hills along Lake Superior. 17. East Coast and Appalachians. Mount Mitchell NC, highest in the eastern U.S. In the Blue Ridge Mountains. Mount Washington NH, famous for wild weather. Great views in the White Mountains. Mount Katahdin, northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, rugged terrain. Clingman's Dome TNNC, Smoky Mountains, highest peak with observation tower. Mount Rogers VA, Virginia's highest, grassy meadows and wild ponies. 18. The Alaska Range. Alaska! Denali, tallest in North America, 20,310 feet. Mount Foraker, Mount Hunter, Mount Huntington, Mount Silvarthron, Mount Spur, active volcano, Mount Sanford, Bone Drango. 19. The Cascades, Washington, Oregon, Northern California. Mount Rainier W, a glacier covered stratovolcano. Mount St. Helens Wa, famous eruption in 1980. Mount Adams Wa, second tallest in Washington. Mount Baker Wa, one of the snowiest places on Earth. Mount Hood or Oregon's highest peak. Mount Jefferson or Three Sisters or three volcanic peaks. Mount McLaughlin or Mount Shasta CA, massive volcano in Northern California. Latham Peak CA, last erupted in 19... The Sierra Nevada, California, Nevada. Mount Whitney CA, highest in contiguous U.S. Mount Williamson. Mount Russell, Mount Langley, Mount Tyndall, Mount Muir, Half Dome, Yosemite, El Capitan Yosemite, Mount Tana, Mount Conos. 21. The Rocky Mountains, COA. Mount ID, NMUT, Colorado. Mount Delbert Heights, in the Rockies. Mount Massive, Mount Harvard, Mount Yale. Mount Princeton, Long's Peak, near Boulder. Maroon Bells, iconic peaks near Aspen. Pikes Peak has a road and railway to the top. Wyoming, Grand Teton, towering, rugged peak. Gannett Peak, highest in Wyoming. Montana, Granite Peak, tallest in Montana. Mount Reynolds, Glacier National Park. Mount Cleveland, also in Glacier NP, Idaho. Bora Peak, highest in Idaho. Leatherman Peak, New Wheeler Peak, highest in the state. Truchas Peak, tallest in Utah. Kings Peak, tallest in Utah. Mount Timpanogos, Navajo Mountain. Mount Nebo. The Appalachian Mountains, eastern U.S., North Carolina, and Tennessee. Mount Mitchell NC, tallest east of the Mississippi. Clingman's Dome TNNC, Smoky Mountains, New Hampshire. Mount Washington, known for extreme weather. Mount Lafayette, Mount Adams, Mount Madison, Maine. Mount Katahdin, northern end of the Appalachian Trail. Mount Bigelow, Virginia. Mount Rogers, Virginia's highest. White Top Mountain, Vermont. Mount Mansfield, highest in Vermont. Camel's Hump, 23. The Pacific Islands, Hawaii. Mauna Kea, highest in Hawaii. Astronomer's Paradise. Mauna Loa, Earth's largest volcano. Haleakala, sunrise view favorite on Maui. Walekwala, 24. The Basin and Range, Desert Southwest, Nevada. Boundary Peak, tallest in Nevada. Mount Charleston, near Las Vegas. Wheeler Peak, Great Basin NP, Arizona. Humphreys Peak, highest point, Inez. Mount Lemon, Mount Graham, Agassiz, New Mexico. See Rocky Mountain list. 25. The Black Hills and Midwest. Black Elk Peak SD, highest in South Dakota. Harney Peak, historic name for Black Elk, Eagle Mountain, MN, tallest in Minnesota. Mount Marcy, NY, highest in New York. Mount Magazine, AR, tallest in Arkansas. Tom Soak, Mount Emu. Missouri's high points, 26. Notable volcanic mountains across the U.S. Mount Rainier, Wa. Mount St. Helens, Wa. Mount Hood or Mount Shasta, ca Latham Peak, ca Mauna Loa, H. Munakea, H. Mount Redoubt, Aka. Mount Spur, Aka. Mount Baker, Wa. Here is a list of major mountains near Seattle, Washington, in English. Major mountains near Seattle, Washington. 1. Mount Rainier, elevation 14,411 feet, 4,392 meters. Description: the highest mountain in Washington and the Cascade Range. It's a massive stratovolcano and a popular destination for mountaineering and hiking. 2. Mount Baker, elevation 10,786 feet, 3,288 meters. Description: an active volcano located north of Seattle, near the Canadian border, known for heavy snowfall and skiing. 3. Mount St. Helens, elevation 8,366 feet, 2,550 meters. Description: famous for its catastrophic eruption in 1980. Located farther south of Seattle, but still in Washington. 4. Mount Adams, elevation 12,281 feet, 3,743 meters. Description: another large stratovolcano, less visited than Mount Rainier, but still popular for hiking and climbing. 5. Mount C, elevation 4,167 feet, 1,270 meters. Description: a popular day hike located very close to Seattle in the North Bend area, offers scenic views of the region. 6. Mount Olympus, elevation 7,980 feet, 2,432 meters. Description: located in Olympic National Park, west of Seattle, it's the highest peak in the Olympic Mountains. 7. And Mailbox Peak, elevation 4,841 feet, 1,476 meters. Description: a well-known, challenging hike near North Bend, named for the actual mailbox at the summit. 8. Rattlesnake Ridge, Rattlesnake Ledge, elevation 3,500 feet up. Description: a shorter, scenic hike with a dramatic overlook of Rattlesnake Lake, very popular for beginners. Major mountains near Bend, Oregon, USA. 1. Mount Bachelor, elevation 9,068 feet, 2,764 meters. Description: a dormant stratovolcano just southwest of Bend. It's a popular destination for skiing and snowboarding in winter. 2. South Sister, elevation 10,358 feet, 3,157 meters. Description: the tallest of the Three Sisters Mountains and a favorite for hikers and climbers. It is considered dormant. 3. Middle Sister, elevation 10,047 feet, 3,062 meters. Description: a rugged and less visited peak. Compared to South Sister, it sits between the North and South Sisters. 4. North Sister, elevation 10,085 feet, 3,074 meters. Description: the most technically challenging and dangerous of the Three Sisters to climb. Often called the Terrible Sister. 5. Broken Top, elevation 9,175 feet, 2,797 meters. Description: an eroded stratovolcano near the Three Sisters, known for its sharp ridges and alpine lakes. 6. Mount Jefferson, north of Bend, elevation 10,497 feet, 3,199 meters. Description: the second highest. Though farther from Bend, it's still part of the Cascade Range and visible on clear days. 7. Black Butte, elevation 6,436 feet, 1,962 meters. Description: a prominent cinder cone near Sisters, Oregon, northwest of Bend. Popular for short but steep hikes with great views. 8. Paulina Peak, Newberry Volcano. Elevation 7,984 feet, 2,434 meters. Description: part of the Newberry National Volcanic Monument, it's a large shield volcano southeast of Bend with lakes, hot springs, and lava flows. Unlike some areas like Seattle or Bend, San Francisco is a very urban city, so it does not have many large mountains within the city itself. However, it is surrounded by hills and mountains in the Bay Area and nearby regions. Here's a list of important mountains and hills in and around San Francisco, written in English. Mountains and hills in and around San Francisco, California, USA. Inside San Francisco. 1. Twin Peaks, elevation 922 feet, 281 meters. Description: one of the highest points in San Francisco. Offers iconic views of the entire city and the Bay Area. 2. Mount Davidson, elevation 928 feet, 283 meters. Description: the highest natural point in San Francisco, known for its large concrete cross at the summit. 3. Bernal Heights Hill, elevation 475 feet, 145 meters. Description: a peaceful hilltop with panoramic views and grassy hiking trails. 4. Lone Mountain, elevation around 448 feet, 137 meters. Description: a small hill in the city, home to the University of San Francisco. 5. Tanquil, elevation around 650 feet, 198 meters. Description: a small but scenic hill near Twin Peaks with great city views. Mountains near San Francisco in the Bay Area. 1. Mount Tamalpais, Marin County, elevation 2,571 feet, 784 meters. Description: located just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Very popular for hiking, biking, and beautiful views of the bay. 2. Mount Diablo, Contra Costa County. Elevation 3,849 feet, 1,173 meters. Description: one of the tallest peaks in the Bay Area. On clear days, you can see far into California. Popular for hiking and driving to the summit. 3. San Bruno Mountain, south of San Francisco. Elevation 1,314 feet, 400 meters. Description: just south of the city, it offers hiking trails and views of both San Francisco and the Pacific Ocean. 4. Montara Montesa, Mateo County. Elevation 1,898 feet, 579 meters. Description: near Pacifica, southwest of San Francisco, known for coastal views and wildflowers. 5. Sweeney Ridge, elevation approximately 1,200 feet, 366 meters. Description: west of San Bruno and Daly City, known for being the spot where Europeans first saw San Francisco Bay. Salt Lake City is surrounded by mountain ranges, including some of the most scenic and highest peaks in the western United States. Here is a list of major mountains in and around Salt Lake City, Utah, written in English. Major mountains near Salt Lake City, Utah, USA. 1. Mount Olympus. Elevation 9,030 feet, 2,752 meters. Description: one of the most iconic peaks visible from Salt Lake City. Very popular with hikers and offers stunning views from the summit. 2. Grandeur Peak. Elevation 8,299 feet, 2,530 meters. Description: located just east of the city. It's a moderate day hike with amazing views over the Salt Lake Valley. 3. Lone Peak. Elevation 11,253 feet, 3,430 meters. Description: a dramatic, rugged peak in the Wasatch Range. Considered one of the most challenging and rewarding climbs near the city. 4. Twin Peaks Broads, Fork Twin Peaks. Elevation 11,330 feet, 3,453 meters. Description: the highest peak in Salt Lake County and part of the Wasatch Mountains. Very difficult hike but very scenic. 5. Mount Timpanogos, south of Salt Lake City. Elevation 11,752 feet 3,582 meters. Description: one of the most famous peaks in Utah, located a bit farther south in Utah County. Extremely popular with hikers in summer, says. Ensign peak elevation 5,417 feet 1,651 meters. Description: a small hill just north of downtown Salt Lake City. It's an easy, short hike with historical importance and nice views. 7. Lookout peak elevation 8,954 feet 2,729 meters. Description: located in the foothills northeast of the city, known for its remote trails and scenic alpine setting. 8. Francis Peak elevation 9,547 feet 2,910 meters. Description: north of Salt Lake City in the Farmington area, recognizable by the radar domes on the summit. 9. Antelope Island Peak Prairie Peak elevation 6,596 feet 2,010 meters. Description: the highest point on Antelope Island in the Great Salt Lake offers unique desert and lake views. Mountain ranges around Salt Lake City: Wasatch Range main mountain range to the east of the city. Oquirrh Mountains, located to the west, includes Flat Top Mountain 10,620 feet, the highest in that range. Los Angeles is surrounded by several mountain ranges, including the Santa Monica Mountains, San Gabriel Mountains, and Santa Susana Mountains. These ranges are full of scenic peaks and popular hiking destinations. Major mountains in and around Los Angeles, California, USA. 1. Mount Baldy, Mount San Antonio. Elevation 10,064 feet 3,068 meters. Description: the highest peak in Los Angeles County and the San Gabriel Mountains, popular for hiking, climbing, and even skiing in winter. 2. Mount Wilson elevation 5,710 feet 1,740 meters. Description: famous for the Mount Wilson Observatory and views of the LA Basin, accessible by hiking or driving. 3. Mount Lukens elevation 5,074 feet 1,547 meters. Description: the highest point within the Los Angeles city limit, located in the northeastern corner of the city. 4. Sandstone Peak, Mount Allen elevation 3,114 feet 949 meters. Description: the highest peak in the Santa Monica Mountains, offers ocean views and scenic coastal trails. 5. Echomountain elevation 3,205 feet 977 meters. Description: known for its historic ruins and views of Pasadena and downtown. Parts of the popular hike to Inspiration Point, says. Inspiration Point elevation approximately 4,500 feet 1,372 meters. Description: a famous overlook above Pasadena with stunning views of Los Angeles and interpretive telescopes. 7. Mount Lowe elevation 5,603 feet 1,708 meters. Description: a historic and scenic mountain, accessible via several hiking trails from Echo Mountain. 8. Hollywood Hills, part of the eastern Santa Monica Mountains. Elevation up to approximately 1,820 feet 555 meters. Description: home to the Hollywood sign, Griffith Park, and Mount Lee. 9. Mount Lee elevation 1,708 feet 521 meters. Description: known for the iconic Hollywood sign at its summit. 10. Griffith Park peaks, for example, Mount Hollywood elevation approximately 1,625 feet 495 meters. Description: located in Griffith Park, this area includes scenic trails with views of downtown LA, the observatory, and more. 11. Topanga Lookout elevation approximately 2,375 feet 724 meters. Description: located in the Santa Monica Mountains, offering expansive views of the Santa Monica Bay and surrounding mountains. San Gabriel Peak, elevation 6,161 feet, 1,878 meters. Description: part of the higher elevations in the San Gabriel Mountains, east of Los Angeles, offers a mix of forest and rugged views. Major mountain ranges around Los Angeles, Santa Monica Mountains, west of the city, stretch along the coast. San Gabriel Mountains, north and northeast of the city, include many of the highest peaks. Santa Susana Mountains, northwest of the San Fernando Valley. Verdugo Mountains, small range near Glendale and Burbank. Las Vegas is surrounded by desert mountain ranges, and there are many beautiful and rugged peaks nearby, popular for hiking, climbing, and sightseeing. Major mountains near Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. 1. Mount Charleston, Charleston Peak, elevation 11,916 feet, 3,632 meters. Description: the highest mountain near Las Vegas, part of the Spring Mountains. It offers forested trails, cooler temperatures, and even snow in winter. 2. Griffith Peak, elevation 11,059 feet, 3,371 meters. Description: the third highest peak in southern Nevada, located near Mount Charleston. Offers panoramic views of the Las Vegas Valley. 3. Mummy Mountain, elevation 11,528 feet, 3,514 meters. Description: nay, because the mountain looks like a sleeping mummy when viewed from certain angles. It's a rugged climb and part of the Mount Charleston area for Black Mountain Henderson area. Elevation 5,092 feet, 1,552 meters. Description: a prominent peak in the McCullough Range, south of Las Vegas. Offers desert hiking trails with city and valley views. 5. Frenchman Mountain Sunrise Mountain Area. Elevation 4,056 feet, 1,236 meters. Description: located on the eastern edge of Las Vegas, popular for sunrise hikes and views of the Strip and surrounding desert. 6. Sloan Canyon North, McCullough Range. Elevation approximately 5,000 feet. Description: south of Las Vegas, known for ancient petroglyphs and rugged desert peaks. The Sloan Canyon National Conservation Area protects this region. 7. La Madre Mountain. Elevation 8,154 feet, 2,485 meters. Description: located in the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area, northwest of Las Vegas. Offers remote and scenic wilderness hikes. 8. Turtlehead Peak. Elevation 6,323 feet, 1,927 meters. Description: a popular and accessible hike in Red Rock Canyon. Offers some of the best views over the desert and Las Vegas. 9. Lone Mountain within Las Vegas. Elevation 3,342 feet, 1,018 meters. Description: a small, isolated mountain in the northwest part of the city, popular for short, steep hikes. 10. Spring Mountains Range. Description: the entire mountain range west of Las Vegas, including Mount Charleston and others, known for alpine forests, camping, and wildlife. Denver is located on the eastern edge of the Rocky Mountains, so there are many tall and beautiful mountains near the city. These mountains are very popular for hiking, skiing, and sightseeing. Major mountains near Denver, Colorado, USA. 1. Mount Evans, now officially renamed Mount Blue Sky. Elevation 14,271 feet, 4,350 meters. Description: one of Colorado's famous 14ers. Mountains over 14,000 feet. It has a paved road to the summit and stunning alpine views. 2. Pikes Peak. Elevation 14,115 feet, 4,302 meters. Description: one of the most famous mountains in the USA. It's a bit farther south of Denver near Colorado Springs, but very popular. You can drive or hike to the top. 3. Grace Peak elevation, 14,278 feet, 4,352 meters. Description: the closest 14,000-foot peak to Denver. A popular hiking destination in summer. Cuatro Torres Peak, elevation 14,275 feet, 4,351 meters. Description: right next to Grace Peak, many people climb both in a single day. 5. Lookout Mountain elevation, 7,377 feet, 2,249 meters. Description: just west of Denver, near the town of Golden, offers amazing views of the city and is home to Buffalo Bill's grave. 6. Green Mountain elevation, approximately 6,850 feet, 2,088 meters. Description: located in Lakewood, great for hiking and biking with views of the city. 7. Mount Morrison elevation, 7,881 feet, 2,402 meters. Description: near Red Rock, steep trails and fantastic views. 8. Chief Mountain elevation, 11,709 feet, 3,569 meters. Description: located in the Arapahoe National Forest. A short, relatively easy summit hike with panoramic views. 9. Bear Peak elevation, 8,461 feet, 2,579 meters. Description: located near Boulder, northwest of Denver, a challenging but rewarding hike with rocky views at the summit. 10. Flatirons, near Boulder, elevation, approximately 5,400 to 6,800 feet, 1,646 to 2,072 meters. Description: not mountains, but iconic steep rock formations above Boulder, just 30 to 45 minutes from Denver. Very popular for hiking and climbing. Notes: these mountains are mostly part of the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains. Denver itself is relatively flat but sits at the base of these mountain ranges, so access is easy. Phoenix is located in a desert valley surrounded by many mountains and desert peaks. These mountains are popular for hiking, biking, and beautiful desert views. Major mountains in and around Phoenix, Arizona, USA. Mountains inside or very close to Phoenix. 1. Camelback Mountain, elevation, 2,707 feet, 825 meters. Description: one of the most, it looks like a camel lying down. Very popular for hiking, especially the Echo Canyon Trail. 2. Pistawa Peak, formerly Squaw Peak, elevation, 2,610 feet, 796 meters. Description: located in the Phoenix Mountains Preserve, a very popular and steep hike with city views. 3. South Mountain, Mount Sapoa, elevation, 2,690 feet, 820 meters. Description: part of South Mountain Park, one of the largest urban parks in the U.S. It has many hiking, biking, and driving trails. 4. North Mountain elevation, 2,104 feet, 641 meters. Description: located in the Phoenix Mountains Preserve, easy to moderate trails with nice views. 5. Show Butte, elevation, 2,149 feet, 655 meters. Description: located near North Mountain, popular for hiking and mountain biking. 6. Lookout Mountain elevation, 2,054 feet, 626 meters. Description: a smaller mountain with hiking trails and panoramic views of the Phoenix area. 7. Deem Hills elevation, approximately 2,000 feet, 610 meters. Description: located in northwest Phoenix, desert trails with great views and fewer crowds. 8. Papago Buttes elevation, approximately 1,400 feet, 427 meters. Description: located near the Phoenix Zoo and Desert Botanical Garden, famous for red sandstone formations and easy hikes like Holy Mountains near but outside Phoenix. 1. White Tank Mountains west of Phoenix, elevation, up to 4,083 feet, 1,244 meters. Description: home to White Tank Mountain Regional Park, with trails, petroglyphs, and desert scenery. 2. McDowell Mountains northeast of Phoenix, elevation. Thompson Peak, 3,984 feet, 1,214 meters. Description: located near Scottsdale, with rugged desert trails and scenic views. 3. Superstition Mountains east of Phoenix, elevation, Superstition Mountain. Approximately 5,059 feet, 1,542 meters. Description: famous for legends of the Lost Dutchman gold mine, offers dramatic cliffs, canyons, and wilderness hikes. 4. Estrella Mountains southwest of Phoenix, elevation. Elevation: Hayes Peak, 4,512 feet, 1,375 meters. Description: part of Estrella Mountain Regional Park, quiet trails with mountain and desert views. Summary: Phoenix is surrounded by desert mountains and has easy access to beautiful hiking areas within the city. The tallest peaks are in the surrounding ranges like the Superstitions and while iconic city hikes include Camelback and Pistewa Peak. However, unlike cities like Denver or Phoenix, Chicago is very flat and located near Lake Michigan, not near any mountains. There are no natural mountains in Chicago or the state of Illinois. Why there are no mountains in Chicago or Illinois? Illinois is part of the Midwestern United States, which is mostly made up of plains, rolling hills, and lowlands. The terrain is flat due to glacial activity thousands of years ago. The highest point in Illinois is Charles Mound, which is only 1,235 feet, 376 meters. It is located in the northwestern corner of the state far from Chicago and is not a mountain, just a hill. Closest mountains to Chicago. If you're looking for mountains to visit from Chicago, you'd have to travel out of state. 1. Appalachian Mountains, located in the eastern U.S., in states like Pennsylvania and West Virginia, 8 to 10 hours by car. 2. Ozark Mountains, in Missouri and Arkansas, about 6 to 8 hours away. 3. Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and North Carolina, around 9 to 10 hours away. Summary: Chicago and Illinois do not have any mountains. The landscape is flat with only small hills. For mountain experiences, you would need to travel to nearby states. First, just like before, Detroit is a city, not a state. It is located in the state of Michigan, USA. Are there mountains in Detroit or Michigan? Detroit is located in southeastern Michigan, which is mostly flat with some gentle hills. There are no real mountains in Detroit. However, the state of Michigan does have some small mountains and highlands, especially in the Upper Peninsula UP, which is far from Detroit. Notable mountains and highlands in Michigan, but not in Detroit. 1. Mount Arvin, elevation, 1,979 feet, 603 meters. Location: Upper Peninsula, Baraga County. Description: the highest natural point in Michigan, covered in forest and not very steep. 2. Mount Kurut, elevation, 1,978 feet, 603 meters. Location: near Mount Arvin in the UP. Description: was once thought to be Michigan's highest point. 3. Porcupine Mountains, elevation, up to 1,958 feet, 597 meters. Location: Upper Peninsula and Tonagon County. Description: known as the Porkies. These are forested hilly mountains near Lake Superior, very scenic with waterfalls and hiking trails. 4. Huron Mountains, elevation, peaks around 1,500 to 1,900 feet. Location: northwestern Upper Peninsula. Description: a remote and rugged range of hills and ridges with wilderness areas. Summary: Detroit has no mountains. It's a flat city near rivers and lakes. The state of Michigan has small mountains in the Upper Peninsula, several hours north of Detroit. The tallest point is Mount Arvin, but even that is not very tall compared to mountains in the western U.S. Buffalo itself does not have mountains. The land in and around Buffalo is mostly flat or gently rolling hills. However, there are mountain ranges in the state of New York, especially in the eastern and southeastern regions. The closest mountain-like areas near Buffalo are low hills and part of the Allegheny Plateau. Nearby hills and ranges not far from Buffalo. 1. Boston Hills location. Approximately 20 miles south of Buffalo. Elevation: around 1,700 feet, 580 meters. Description: these are forested hills, popular for skiing and hiking. Not true mountains, but higher than Buffalo. 2. Chow Bridge location. Southwest of Buffalo. Elevation: approximately 2,000 feet, 610 meters. Description: part of the Allegheny Plateau, this ridge runs along western New York, offers scenic views and nature areas. 3. Allegheny Mountains, part of the Appalachian system. Location: farther south and southeast of Buffalo around Pennsylvania-New York border. Elevation peaks up to approximately 2,500 feet, 760 meters. Description: heavily forested, with rolling mountains and state parks like Allegheny State Park, which is about 90 minutes from Buffalo. Major mountain ranges in New York State, farther from Buffalo. 1. Catskill Mountains. Location: eastern New York. Elevation: up to approximately 4,180 feet. Slide Mountain. Description: a popular area for hiking, camping, and winter sports. About 5 to 6 hours drive from Buffalo. 2. Adirondack Mountains. Location: northeastern New York. Elevation: up to 5,344 feet. Mount Marcy, Highstin and Description: a large, mountainous region with lakes, forests, and 46 high peaks. About 6 hours from Buffalo. Summary: Buffalo has no real mountains, but there are some nearby hills and elevated areas. The closest mountain-like area is the Boston Hills and Allegheny Plateau. The true mountains of New York, like the Adirondacks and Catskills, are several hours away to the east and northeast. Boston itself does not have any true mountains. It is a coastal city with mostly flat or gently hilly terrain. However, the state of Massachusetts does have some small mountains and high hills, especially in the western part of the state. Small hills near Boston. 1. Blue Hills Reservation. Location: Chasato, Boston, in Milton. Highest point: Great Blue Hill, 635 feet, 194 meters. Description: popular hiking spot with scenic views of the Boston skyline. Despite the name, it's a hill, not a true mountain. 2. Middlesex Fells Reservation. Location: north of Boston. Elevation: hills up to approximately 300 to 400 feet. Description: wooded trails, rocky hills, and lakes, popular for short hikes and nature walks. Mountains in Massachusetts, farther from Boston. 1. Mount Greylock. Location: northwestern Massachusetts, near North Adams. Elevation: 3,491 feet, 1,064 meters. Highest point in the state. Description: real mountain with hiking trails and scenic views. Part of the Taconic Mountains. 2. Mount Tom. Location: near Holyoke, western Massachusetts. Elevation: 1,202 feet, 366 meters. Description: part of the Matacomet Ridge, with steep cliffs and nice views of the Connecticut River Valley. 3. Mount Holyoke. Location: near Amherst. Elevation: 935 feet, 285 meters. Description: a long ridge with great views, hiking trails, and historic significance. 4. Berkshire Mountains. Location: western Massachusetts. Elevation: peaks range from approximately 1,000 to over 3,000 feet. Description: a hilly and mountainous region, part of the Appalachian Range, home to ski resorts and cultural spots. Summary: Boston itself has no mountains, but nearby areas like Blue Hills offer some elevated trails. The real mountains of Massachusetts are found in the western part of the state, especially Mount Greylock and the Berkshires. Latham itself does not have any large mountains. It is part of the Hudson Valley region, which has rolling hills and low ridges. However, there are several mountain ranges nearby, especially if you travel just a bit farther from Latham. Hills and small mountains near Latham. 1. Pine Bush Preserve in Albany Pine Bush. Location: west of Albany. Description: not mountainous, but has sandy dunes and hilly terrain. Great for walking and nature viewing. 2. Helderberg Escarpment, Helderberg Mountains. Location: approximately 20 miles southwest of Latham. Elevation: up to 2,000 feet 610 meters. Description: a scenic ridge with dramatic cliffs and forested hiking trails, includes areas like Thacker State Park. Larger mountain ranges near Latham. 1. Catskill Mountains. Location: approximately 1.5 to 2 hours south of Latham. Elevation: peaks up to 4,180 feet Slide Mound. Description: famous for hiking, camping, waterfalls, and scenic views. One of New York's main mountain regions. 2. Adirondack Mountains. Location: approximately 2 to 3 hours north of Latham. Elevation: up to 5,344 feet. Mount Marcy, highest in New York. Description: massive wilderness area with over 40 high peaks. Great for hiking, skiing, and nature adventures. 3. Berkshire Mountains, western Mass. Location: approximately 1 hour east of Latham. Description: gentle, forested mountains that are part of the Appalachian range, include cultural sites and hiking trails. Summary: Latham does not have mountains, but is close to many mountainous regions. Nearby mountains include the Helderberg Escarpment, Catskills, Adirondacks, and Berkshire. These are perfect for hiking, sightseeing, and outdoor activities. Kansas is located in the central United States and is known for its flat plains and prairies, not mountains. However, it does have some highlands and small elevated areas. Notable high points and hills in Kansas. 1. Mount Sunflower. Elevation: 4,039 feet, 1,231 meters. Location: western Kansas, near the Colorado border. Description: this is the highest point in Kansas, but it's not a mountain, just a gentle rise in the plains. It looks flat, but is the highest elevation in the states. 2. Flint Hills. Location: eastern Kansas. Elevation: up to about 1,700 feet 520 meters. Description: a region of rolling hills and tallgrass prairie. Very scenic but not mountainous. It's one of the last large areas of native prairie in North America. 3. Gypsum Hills, Red Hills. Location: south central Kansas, near a Metasin Lodge. Elevation: up to around 2,000 feet 610 meters. Description: colorful hills made of red rock and gypsum. Unique and scenic, but still not true mountains. 4. Smoky Hills. Location: central Kansas. Elevation: around 1,500 to 2,100 feet. Description: rolling hills with sandstone and limestone formations. Beautiful landscapes, but not high mountains. Summary: Kansas does not have any true mountains. It has hills, ridges, and elevated plains such as Mount Sunflower Highest Point, Flint Hills, Gypsum Hills, Smoky Hills. The state is famous for its flat landscapes and prairie, not mountain ranges. The state of New York, USA, has several beautiful mountain ranges, especially in the northern and southeastern parts of the state. Here's a detailed description. Major mountain ranges in New York State. 1. Adirondack Mountains. Location: northeastern New York. Description: the largest mountain range in New York, includes 46 high peaks with elevations over 4,000 feet. Mount Marcy, 5,344 feet /1,629 meters, is the highest point in New York State. known for hiking, camping, skiing, and wilderness. 2. Catskill Mountains. Location southeastern New York, west of the Hudson River. Description: very popular for outdoor activities and vacationing. Highest peak: Slide Mountain, 4,180 feet, 1,274 meters. Known for forests, waterfalls, and cultural history. Inspired Hudson River School artists. 3. Shawangunk Ridge, the Gunks. Location: just south of the Catskills. Description: a scenic ridge known for rock climbing and hiking. Lower in elevation but very dramatic cliffs. Protected areas like Minnewaska State Park and Mohonk Preserve. 4. Hudson Highlands. Location: along the Hudson River, north of New York City. Description: rolling hills and rocky cliffs near towns like Cold Spring and Beacon. Popular for day hiking and historic views. Not tall mountains, but very scenic. 5. Taconic Mountains. Location: along the eastern edge of New York, bordering Massachusetts and Vermont. Description: part of the Appalachian Mountains, includes Mount Equinox and Mount Pelin. Near the border, offers forest trails and less crowded hiking. Highest mountains in New York. Top peaks. Mountain elevation feet. Location: Mount Marcy, 5,344 feet, Adirondack. Algonquin Peak, 5,114 feet, Adirondacks. Mount Haystack, 4,960 feet, Adirondacks. Slide Mountain, 4,180 feet, Catskills. Hunter Mountain, 4,040 feet, Catskills. Summary: New York State has many mountains, mainly in the Adirondack Mountains and Catskills. Other mountain areas include the Shwangunks, Hudson Highlands, and Taconic Range. These regions are popular for hiking, skiing, camping, and nature. Ashburn itself does not have any mountains. It is located in the Piedmont region of Virginia, which features rolling hills and low ridge. However, there are mountain ranges nearby, especially to the west. Nearby mountains and ranges close to Ashburn. 1. Catoctin Mountain. Location: just west of Ashburn, part of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Elevation around 1,800 feet, 550 meters. Description: forested ridge with scenic hiking trails, overlooks, and parks like Catoctin Mountain Park and Sugarloaf Mountain nearby. 2. Blue Ridge Mountains. Location: about 20 to 40 miles west of Ashburn. Elevation: peaks in Virginia reach over 4,000 feet. Description: a major mountain range that's part of the Appalachian Mountains. Great for hiking and sightseeing along the Blue Ridge Parkway and Shenandoah National Park. 3. Shenandoah Mountains within the Blue Ridge. Location: west of Ashburn, inside Shenandoah National Park. Famous peaks: Old Rag Mountain, Hawksbill Stony Mountain. Elevation: up to 4,050 feet, 1,234 meters. Description: some of the most popular hiking mountains in the region. Summary: Ashburn, Virginia does not have mountains, but is very close to mountainous regions, especially Catoctin Mountain, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah National Park. These areas offer excellent hiking, camping, and scenic drives. Dallas itself does not have any mountains. It is located in north central Texas, which is a flat region known as the Blackland Prairie and Cross Timbers. The area is mostly flat or gently rolling hills with no real mountains. Mountains and high areas in Texas, not in Dallas. If you're interested in mountains in the state of Texas, here are some major mountain ranges. 1. Guadalupe Mountains. Location: West Texas, near the New Mexico border. Highest peak: Guadalupe Peak, 8,751 feet, 2,667 meters. Description: the highest mountain in Texas, located in Guadalupe Mountains National Park. 2. Davis Mountains. Location: West Texas. Highest peak: Mount Livermore, minus 8,378 feet, 2,554 meters. Description: a scenic, volcanic mountain range known for hiking and stargazing. 3. Chisos Mountains. Location: In Big Bend National Park, Southwest Texas, highest peak. Emery Peak, 7,825 feet, 2,385 meters. Description: beautiful remote mountains with amazing hiking trails. Closest elevated areas near Dallas, but not mountains. 1. Cedar Ridge Preserve location, just south of Dallas. Elevation up to 755 feet, 230 meters. Description: a natural area with hills, trails, and scenic views. Not mountains, but good for hiking. 2. Joe Pool Lake Mountain Creek. Small ridges and hills in the area, often called mountains locally, but they are really just elevated terrain. Summary: Dallas has no real mountains, only small hills. The nearest true mountains are in West Texas, hundreds of miles away. Famous Texas mountains include Guadalupe Mountains, Davis Mountains, Chisos Mountains. Charlotte itself does not have mountains. It is located in the Piedmont region, which has rolling hills, not high elevations. However, there are mountains nearby, especially to the west of Charlotte. Mountains near Charlotte, North Carolina. 1. Crowder's Mountain. Location: about 30 miles west of Charlotte in Gaston County. Elevation 1,625 feet, 495 meters. Description: the closest mountain to Charlotte. Offers hiking, rock climbing, and great views. Located in Crowder's Mountain State Park. 2. Kings Pinnacle. Location: near Crowder's Mountain. Elevation 1,705 feet, 520 meters. Description: another scenic peak in the same park area. Good for hiking. Mountain ranges in western North Carolina, farther from Charlotte. 1. Blue Ridge Mountains. Location: starts about 90 to 120 miles west of Charlotte. Part of the larger Appalachian Mountains. Description includes famous areas like Asheville Boone and the Blue Ridge Parkway, known for waterfalls, forests, and beautiful drives. 2. Great Smoky Mountains. Location: westernmost part of North Carolina, near Tennessee. Description: one of the most famous mountain ranges in the eastern U.S. Includes Clingman's Dome, highest peak in NC6. Summary: Charlotte has no mountains, only gentle hills. Closest mountains: Crowder's Mountain, Kings Pinnacle. Major mountain ranges in North Carolina, a few hours from Charlotte. Blue Ridge Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains. Charlotte itself does not have mountains. It is located in the Piedmont region, which has rolling hills, not high elevations. However, there are mountains nearby, especially to the west of Charlotte. Mountains near Charlotte, North Carolina. 1. Crowder's Mountain. Location: about 30 miles west of Charlotte in Gaston County. Elevation 1,625 feet, 495 meters. Description: the closest offers hiking, rock climbing, and great views. Located in Crowder's Mountain State Park. 2. Kings Pinnacle. Location: near Crowder's Mountain. Elevato 1,705 feet, 520 meters. Description: another scenic peak, good for hiking. Mountain ranges in western North Carolina, farther from Charlotte. 1. Blue Ridge Mountains. Location starts about 90 to 120 miles west of Charlotte. Part of the larger Appalachian Mountains. Description includes famous areas like Asheville Boone and the Blue Ridge Parkway, known for waterfalls, forests, and beautiful drives. 2. Great Smoky Mountains. Location: westernmost part of North Carolina near Tennessee. Description: one of the most famous mountain ranges in the eastern U.S. Includes Clingman's Dome, highest peak in NC 6,643 feet/2. Summary: Charlotte has no mountains, only gentle hills. Closest mountains: Crowder's Mountain, Kings Pinnacle. Major mountain ranges in North Carolina, a few hours from Charlotte. Blue Ridge Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains, Naromome, May 22nd, 2025, 12:09 p.m. Atlanta itself does not have true mountains, but it has rolling hills and is located near some low mountains and scenic There are mountains and hiking spots not far from the city, especially to the north. Mountains and high points near Atlanta. Uno, Stone Mountain location, about 15 miles east of Atlanta, elevation 1,686 feet, 514 meters. Description: a giant granite dome, very famous for its size and history, popular for hiking and scenic views. Dos, Kennesaw Mountain, location northwest of Atlanta in Kennesaw, elevation 1,808 feet, 551 meters. Description: located in Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park, offers hiking, Civil War history, and views of Atlanta skyline. 3. Arabia Mountain, location east of Atlanta, elevation 955 feet, 291 meters. Description: granite outcrop similar to Stone Mountain, part of a National Heritage Area. Great for hiking. Mountain ranges near North Georgia, within a few hours of Atlanta. Uno, Appalachian Mountains, Blue Ridge region. Location: North Georgia, about 90 to 120 miles north of Atlanta. Description: the southern end of the Appalachian Mountains reaches into Georgia. Beautiful mountains, waterfalls, and forests. 2. Brastambold, elevation 4,784 feet, 1,458 meters. Location near Blaisville, GA, about 2.5 hours from Atlanta. Description: the offers panoramic views and a summit observation deck. 3. Blood Mountain, elevation 4,458 feet, 1,359 meters. Location: on the Appalachian Trail, near Neil Gap. Description: a popular hiking destination with summary. Atlanta has hills, not true mountains. Nearby peaks include Stone Mountain, Kennesaw Mountain, Arrowhead Mountain. North Georgia has real mountains that are part of the Appalachian Range, including Brastambold, highest in Georgia, Blood Mountain, Blue Ridge Mountains. Houston does not have any mountains. It is located in a flat, coastal plain near the Gulf of Mexico. The area is mostly low, flat land with no hills or mountain ranges. Where are the mountains? In Texas. If you're interested in mountains within the state of Texas, you'll find them far from Houston, mostly in West Texas. Uno, Guadalupe Mountains location, West Texas, near New Mexico. Highest peak: Guadalupe Peak, 8,751 feet, 2,667 meters. Note: this is the highest point in Texas. Dos, Chisos Mountains, location in Big Bend National Park, southwestern Texas. Highest peak: Embry Peak, 7,825 feet, 2,385 meters. Note: beautiful desert mountains with hiking and scenic views. 3. Davis Mountains, location near Fort Davis in West Texas. Highest peak: Mount Livermore to 8,378 feet, 2,554 meters. Note: known for stargazing and remote mountain scenery. Summary: Houston has no mountains. It's a flat, low-lying city. The closest real mountains are over 500 miles away in West Texas. Major mountains in Texas, not in Houston: Guadalupe Mountains, Chisos Mountains, Davis Mountains. Miami does not have any mountains. It is located in a flat coastal lowland along the Atlantic Ocean. The elevation in Miami is very low, usually just 6 to 20 feet to 26 meters. Above sea level, no hills or mountain ranges are found in or near the city. Are there any mountains in Florida? Florida is one of the flattest states in the U.S. It has no real mountains, but a few small hills in the northern and central parts of the state. Uno, Sugarloaf Mountain, location: Central Florida, Lake County, near Ole, elevation 312 feet 95 meters. Note, this is the highest natural point in Peninsula Florida. Not a real mountain, but locally significant. 2. Britton Hill location, Northern Florida, Walton County. Elevation 345 feet 105 meters. Note, this is the highest point in all of Florida, and it's the lowest high point of any U.S. state. Summary: Miami has no mountains or hills. It is a very flat coastal city with low elevation. The entire state of Florida has no real mountains, just low hills like Sugarloaf Mountain, Britton Hill. Britton Hill. Mountain landscapes in Georgia. Georgia is home to a beautiful portion of the Appalachian Mountains, particularly in the northern part of the state. These ancient mountains are not as tall as those in the Rockies, but are rich in biodiversity, scenic views, waterfalls, and outdoor adventure opportunities. The landscape features rolling ridges, forested peaks, deep valleys, and clear streams. 1. Blue Ridge Mountains. Location: northeastern Georgia, part of the southern Appalachian Mountains. Landscape: steep forested slopes, rocky outcrops, wildflower meadows, and cool mountain streams. Famous peaks: Brasstown Bald at 4,784 feet, 1,458 meters. It's the highest point in Georgia. From the summit, you can see 4 states on a clear day. Blood Mountain, a popular destination for hikers on the Appalachian Trail, with sweeping views from its summit. 2. Chattahoochee National Forest. Location: covers much of the northern mountain region. Features: dense forests, waterfalls, wildlife, and hundreds of miles of trails. Part of the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forests, which are ideal for hiking, camping, fishing, and scenic drives. 3. Appalachian Trail AT. Southern Terminus. The famous Appalachian Trail begins at Springer Mountain, Georgia. Trail experience offers hikers lush forest paths, mountain overlook, and a peaceful backcountry experience through the Georgia mountains. 4. Scenic towns and parks. Helen, a Bavarian-themed mountain town with access to waterfalls and trails like Anaruby Falls. Taloniga historic town known for gold mining and surrounded by mountain scenery. Vogel State Park, one of Georgia's oldest state parks, nestled at the base of Blood Mountain. Tallulah Gorge State Park features a dramatic canyon, waterfalls, and challenging hiking trails. 5. Wildlife and nature. Flora rhododendron, mountain laurel, and vibrant autumn foliage. Fauna: black bears, white-tailed deer, wild turkeys, and many species of birds and reptiles. Conclusion: Georgia's mountain landscapes, especially in the northeast, offer a beautiful and peaceful contrast to the lowlands and coastal plains of the state, with rich forests, panoramic views, and charming mountain towns. The region is a top destination for hiking, photography, and nature lovers. The mountains of Georgia may not be the tallest, but their serenity, beauty, and accessibility make them truly special. Mountain landscapes in Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the most geologically and visually dramatic mountainous regions in the United States. The islands were formed by volcanic activity, which created towering peaks, deep valleys, lush rainforests, and stunning coastal cliffs. Each major island features unique mountain ranges, with landscapes shaped by both lava flows and erosion over millions of years. Pertama, Mauna Kea Big Island of Hawaii. Height 13,803 feet, 4,207 meters above sea level, but over 33,500 feet, 10,210 meters. From base to summit, including its base under the ocean, making it the tallest mountain in the world by base to peak height. Landscape: volcanic summits, alpine desert, observatorious, and snow in winter. Cultural significance: sacred to native Hawaiians. Access is limited in certain areas. Stargazing: one of the best locations in the world for astronomical observation. 2. Mauna Loa, Big Island. One of the largest volcanoes on Earth by volume. Height, 13,681 feet, 4,170 meters. Landscape. Massive sheer volcano with lava fields stretching 4 miles. Activity still considered active. Last erupted in 2022. Tres Analiacal, Maui. Height, 10,023 feet, 3,055 meters. Location, East Maui. Landscaped huge volcanic crater. Red and black lava rock, cinder cones, and silver sword plants. Helicab National Park known for sunrise and sunset views from the summit and hiking through the volcanic landscape. 4. West Maui Mountains. Mauna Kahalawai, older volcanic range with sharp ridges, deep valleys, and lush rain. Erosion-carved scenery. Steep cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and remote wilderness. Yao Valley. A sacred site featuring the famous Yao Needle, a tall pointed ridge surrounded by tropical vegetation. 5. Ko'ola, Anwai. Anai Ranges o Ahu. Ko Olau Range forms the eastern side of O. Lush green cliffs drop steeply to the ocean. Why? Anai Ranged, older and drier, located on the western side. Includes Mount Ka'ala, the highest point on O, a 4,025 feet, 1,227 meters. Scenic drives and hikes. Tantalus Lookout, Lanikai Pillbox Trail, and the Poly Highway. 6. Enepalikos Iguaymea Canyon Kawa. Enepalikos towering sea cliffs, emerald ridges, hidden beaches, and narrow valleys. Accessible by boat, air, or challenging hiking trails. Waimea Canyon, known as the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, with red rock cliffs, waterfalls, and deep gorges. Mount Ale, one of the wettest places on Earth, with lush vegetation and dramatic waterfalls. Conclusion: Hawaii's mountain landscapes are among the most spectacular and diverse in the world. From towering volcanoes to tropical rainforests and rugged coastal cliffs, the islands offer a mix of volcanic power, natural beauty, and cultural richness. These landscapes are perfect for hiking, photography, stargazing, and spiritual reflection, making Hawaii a truly unique mountain destination. Would you like suggestions for hikes or volcano tours on a specific island? Mountain landscapes in Idaho. Idaho is one of the most rugged and mountainous states in the U.S. It features dramatic peaks, deep river canyons, alpine lakes, and vast wilderness areas. The mountains of Idaho are part of the Rocky Mountains and include some of the most remote and wild landscapes in the lower 48 states. This makes Idaho a paradise for hikers, skiers, climbers, and nature lovers. Oh no! The Sawtooth Mountains. Location: Central Idaho, near the town of Stanley. Landscape: jagged granite peaks, alpine meadows, pristine lakes, and dense forests. Over 40 peaks, above 10,000 feet, 3,048 meters. Notable peaks: Thompson Peak, the highest in the range, 10,751 feet / 3,277 meters. Activities: backpacking, fishing, kayaking, and wildlife watching. Protected area: part of the Sawtooth National Recreation Area. Over 750,000 acres of protected land. 2. The Bitterroot Range. Location: along the Idaho-Montana border. Landscape: rugged, remote, forested mountains. Activities: hiking, horseback riding, and backcountry camping. Features: rich in wildlife, including bears, elk, and mountain goats. 3. The Saman River Mountains. Location: Centralad. Highlight: home to the Frankchurch River of No Return Wilderness, one of the largest protected wilderness areas in the UA. Landscape: deep canyons, wild rivers, remote peaks, and untouched forests. Famous river: the Salmon River carves through these mountains, offering world-class rafting. 4. The Lost River Range. Location: eastern Idaho. Highest point in Idaho: Bora Peak, Mount Bora, 12,668 feet, 3,861 meters, the tallest mountain in the state. Landscape steep, dramatic peaks, and arid highlands. Popular activity: climbing Bora Peak via the challenging Chickenouth Ridge. 5. The White Cloud Mountains. Location: just east of the Sawtooths. Landscape: bright white limestone peaks, alpine lakes, and scenic wilderness. Notable area: recently designated as part of the Cecil D. Andras White Clouds Wilderness, ideal for photographers and solitude seekers. 6. The Selkirk and Cabinet Mountains. Location: northern Idaho, the Panhandle. Landscaped, heavily forested, glaciated peaks with numerous lakes and streams. Activities: hiking, fishing, and snowshoeing. Wildlife: home to moose, wolves, grizzly bears, and bald eagles. Conclusion: Idaho's mountain landscapes are among the wildest, most remote, and most diverse in the United States. From the sharp granite peaks of the Sawtooths to the towering Lost River Range and the untouched wilderness of the Frank Church area, Idaho offers endless adventure and breathtaking natural beauty. Whether you're a climber, hiker, photographer, or just a nature lover, Idaho's mountains will leave a lasting impression. Mountain landscapes in California. California is one of the most geographically diverse states in the U.S., and its mountain landscapes are among the most dramatic and varied in the country. From the iconic Sierra Nevada to the Cascade Range, coastal ranges, and the transverse and peninsula ranges of Southern California, the state offers breathtaking views, diverse ecosystems, and world-renowned outdoor destinations. 1. Sierra Nevada Mountains. Location: runs along the eastern edge of California, stretching from the northern to the southern part of the state. Landscape: towering granite peaks, alpine lakes, waterfalls, meadows, and dense pine forest. Famous peaks: Mount Whitney, 14,505 feet, 4,421 meters. The highest point in the contiguous U.S. Half Dome in El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. Iconic rock formations. National parks. Yosemite National Park, known for dramatic cliffs, waterfalls, and giant sequoias. Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Parks. Home to the world's largest trees. Recreation: hiking, rock climbing, skiing, backpacking, and scenic drives, for example. Tioga Road. 2. Cascade Range. Location: northern California, continuing into Oregon and Washington. Features volcanic mountains with snow-capped peaks and geothermal activity. Key Montagne. Mount Shasta, 14,179 feet, 4,322 meters. A potentially active stratovolcano and a spiritual landmark. Activities: mountaineering, skiing, and exploring volcanic geology. 3. Coastal ranges. Location. Runs along California's Pacific coast. Landscape: rolling hills, steep cliffs, and lush valleys. Not as high as the Sierra Nevada, but extremely scenic. Famous area: Big Sur, dramatic cliffs overlooking the Pacific Ocean with mountains rising sharply inland. Vegetation: coastal redwoods, the tallest trees in the world, ferns, and fog-fed forests. 4. Transverse and Peninsula Ranges, Southern California. Location: near Los Angeles and San Diego. Key mountains. San Gabriel Mountains includes Mount Baldy, 10,064 feet, 3,068 meters. San Bernardino Mountains, home to Big Bear Lake and winter resorts. Peninsula Ranges include Mount San Jacinto and Mount Laguna. Features steep terrain, desert transitions, and proximity to urban areas. Recreation: popular for hiking, skiing, snowboarding, and camping. Conclusion: California's mountain landscapes offer an extraordinary range of environments, from snowy peaks and ancient forests to volcanic summits and coastal cliffs. Whether you're seeking adventure, solitude, or natural wonder, the mountains of California provide endless opportunities for exploration and inspiration. Mountain landscapes in Connecticut. Connecticut is located in the northeastern United States, and while it's a relatively small and low-lying state, it still offers charming and picturesque mountainous and hilly terrain. These landscapes are part of the ancient Appalachian Mountains, shaped by millions of years of erosion, making them more gentle and forested compared to the dramatic peaks out west. The Litchfield Hills. Location: northwestern Connecticut. Landscape: rolling hills, forested ridges, and scenic valleys. This area is the most mountainous region in the state. Activities: hiking, leaf peeping in autumn, cycling, and visiting quaint New England villages. Notable features: Mohawk Mountain, popular for skiing in winter. Mount Tom State Park offers hiking trails with panoramic views. Lake Waramag, surrounded by wooded hills, ideal for relaxing and photography. The Taconic Mountains. Location: extreme northwest corner of the state, extending into Massachusetts and New York. Highlight: Bear Mountain, the highest mountain entirely within Connecticut, 2,316 feet, 706 meters. Nearby is Mount Frizzell, which has the highest point in the state, although its peak lies in Mastres. Metacomet Ridge. Location: central Connecticut, running from the Long Island Sound northward. Geology: made of volcanic basalt rock, it forms steep ridges and cliffs unlike the surrounding landscape. Notable peaks and parks: Sleeping Giant State Park, a ridgeline resembling a sleeping giant, popular for hiking and scenic views. West Rock and East Rock. Dramatic basalt cliffs near New Haven with panoramic overlooks. Appalachian Trail, AT. Location: passes through the northwest corner of the state for about 50 miles. Landscape: quiet forests, gentle ridges, and peaceful rivers. Popular spot: Great Falls in Falls Village, a powerful waterfall on the Housatonic River. Scenic viewpoints along the AT offer glimpses of rural New England charm. Conclusion. While Connecticut's mountains are not towering giants, their subtle beauty, lush forests, and peaceful landscapes offer a unique and inviting atmosphere. The state is perfect for relaxed outdoor adventures, photography, bird watching, and enjoying the changing seasons, especially the vibrant foliage in autumn. Landscape of Delaware hills and elevated areas. Although Delaware does not have any mountains, it has gentle hills, rolling landscapes, and scenic coastal plains, particularly in the northern part of the state. The state's highest areas are found in Newcastle County, while much of the rest of the state is flat in the Piedmont region, northern Delaware. Location. Northernmost part of Delaware, including areas around Wilmington and the Pennsylvania border. Landscape. Rolling hills, small valleys, and ridges that are part of the ancient Piedmont Plateau, which stretches from Alabama to New Jersey. Rich in forests, rocky outcrops, and creeks. Highest point: Ebright Azimuth, the highest natural point in Delaware at 448 feet, 137 meters. Above sea level, located near the Pennsylvania border. Parks and trails. Brandywine Creek State Park. Known for its wooded hills and beautiful Brandywine River, White Clay Creek State Park offers hilly terrain, forests, and trails popular for hiking and biking. The coastal plains, central and southern Delaware. Landscape: mostly flat or gently sloping land. Natural features: wetlands, beaches, salt marshes, and low forests. Recreation: Cape Henlopen State Park offers dunes, coastal forests, and Atlantic Ocean views. Trap Pond State Park, known for its bald cypress trees and peaceful flat terrain. 3. Scenic and cultural highlights: historic villages and farms nestled in rolling hills in the north. Fall foliage in the Piedmont region can be quite beautiful, despite the low elevation. Outdoor activities: while there are no mountains for climbing, Delaware offers excellent hiking, birdwatching, kayaking, and nature walks, especially in the state parks and along rivers. Conclusion. Delaware may not have mountains, but its gently rolling hills, wooded areas, and coastal beauty make it an attractive place for those who enjoy nature, history, and quiet outdoor activities. Its highest areas offer views and trails that reflect the subtle charm of the northeastern U.S. landscape. Florida is another U.S. state that is known more for its flat terrain and coastal features than for mountains. In fact, Florida is one of the flattest states in America, and it does not have any true mountains. However, it does have gently rolling hills and elevated areas in the northern and central parts of the state. Here's a detailed description of the highest and most elevated landscapes in Florida. Mountain and elevated landscapes in Florida. While Florida lacks real mountains, it still offers upland terrain, forested hills, and elevated ridges, especially in the Panhandle and central regions. These areas stand in contrast to the state's famously low-lying wetlands, beaches, and swamps. 1. Northern Florida highlands. Location: mainly in the Florida Panhandle and parts of north-central Florida. Landscape: rolling hills, pine forests, and sandy ridge. Highest point: Britton Hill, the highest natural point in Florida at only 345 feet, 105 meters above sea level. Located in Walton County near the Alabama border, while it's the lowest high point of any U.S. state, it still sits in a region with scenic forests and gentle elevation. To Central Florida Ridge, Lake Whalers Ridge. Location: runs down the center of the Florida Peninsula. Landscape: along narrow sandy ridge with elevations up to 300 feet, 91 meters. Features: ancient sand dunes formed when sea levels were higher. Unique ecosystem with rare plants and animals not found anywhere else. Recreation: Highlands Hammock State Park offers nature trails through elevated forested areas. Lake Wales Ridge National Wildlife Refuge, a hotspot for biodiversity and hiking. 3. Hillsborough and Pasco counties. Location: West Central Florida near Tampa. Landscape: gently sloping hills and ridges. Notable area: Brooksville Ridge includes some of the highest natural elevations on the Gulf Coast side of Florida. These hills are popular for cycling, hiking, and scenic drives. 4. Scenic views and outdoor activities. Even though Florida doesn't have mountains, its rolling hills, forested uplands, and unique geological features still offer plenty of natural beauty. Hiking and biking through hilly parks and forest trails. Cave exploration at Florida Cavan State Park. Bird watching and wildlife viewing in elevated scrublands and pine forests. Conclusion. Florida's landscape may be flat compared to mountainous states, but it still has areas of modest elevation and natural charm. The northern highlands and central ridges provide a refreshing contrast to the coastal and swampy areas Florida is known for. These uplands support unique ecosystems and offer peaceful outdoor recreation away from the beaches. 1. Mountain landscapes in Alabama. Alabama features a mix of gentle rolling hills and rugged mountain terrain, especially in the northern part of the state. The mountains in Alabama are part of the southern end of the Appalachian Mountains, which stretch from the northeastern U.S. down into Alabama. Chia Mountain. This is the highest point in Alabama, standing at 2,413 feet, 735 meters. It's located in Chia State Park and offers breathtaking views, hiking trails, waterfalls, and lush forests. Talladega Mountains. A sub-range of the Appalachians, the Talladega Mountains are known for their scenic drives, dense forests, and outdoor recreation. This area is part of the Talladega National Forest, which is rich in biodiversity. Lookout Mountain and Montesano Mountain, found in the northeastern region near cities like Huntsville and These mountains offer scenic overlooks, caves, hiking trails, and historical sites. The mountain landscapes in Alabama are not extremely high, but they are known for their natural beauty, wildlife, and peaceful environment perfect for hiking, camping, and sightseeing. 2. Mountain landscapes in the United States. The United States is home to a wide variety of mountain ranges, each with its own unique features and ecosystems. Appalachian Mountains. Eastern U.S., one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world, stretching from Alabama to Canada. known for rolling hills, rich forests, and colorful autumn leaves. Rocky Mountains, western U.S. These are much taller and more rugged than the Appalachians, extending from New Mexico through Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana into Canada. They feature dramatic peaks, alpine lakes, and snow-covered summits. Sierra Nevada, California, Nevada, home to Lake Tahoe and Yosemite National Park. This range includes some of the most iconic scenery in the U.S. Cascade de Range Pacific Northwest, a volcanic mountain range known for peaks like Mount Rainier, Mount Hood, and Mount St. Helens. Alaska Range, Alaska, includes Denali, formerly Mount McKinley, the highest peak in North America at 20,310 feet, 6,190 meters. Each mountain region in the U.S. offers a unique experience, from the misty, tree-covered hills of the Appalachians to the towering, snow-capped peaks of the Rockies in Alaska. Mountain landscapes in Alaska, United States. Alaska is home to some of the most dramatic and majestic mountain scenery in the world. Its vast wilderness, towering peaks, and icy landscapes make it a truly unique region in the United States. 1. Alaska Range. This is one of the most prominent mountain ranges in the state. It includes Denali, formerly Mount McKinley, which is the highest mountain in North America at 20,310 feet, 6,190 meters. The range is known for its glacier snow-covered peaks and extreme alpine environments. It spans across the central part of the state and offers spectacular views and challenging climbs. 2. Brooks Range. Located in northern Alaska, it is one of the most remote and untouched mountain ranges in the U.S. The range is less visited, with dramatic tundra landscapes and a rich variety of wildlife. It stretches into the Arctic Circle, offering stunning views of Arctic wilderness. 3. Chugach Mountains. Found near Anchorage. These mountains are known for their rugged beauty and accessibility. They are part of Chugach State Park, one of the largest state parks in the country. The mountains are heavily glaciated and receive significant snowfall. 4. St. Elias Mountains. Home to Mount St. Elias, the second highest peak in the U.S. 18,008 feet or 5,489 meters. These mountains rise very sharply from the sea, creating one of the steepest elevation gains in the world. Located near the border with Canada, they form part of Wranglesty Elias National Park, the largest national park in the U.S. General features of Alaska's mountain landscapes. Glaciers. Many of Alaska's mountains are covered in massive glaciers, which carve valleys and feed rivers. Wildlife. You can find grizzly bears, caribou, moose, wolves, and bald eagles in these regions. Remote wilderness. Much of Alaska mountain terrain is difficult to access, making it ideal for adventure, solitude, and scientific exploration. Stunning natural beauty, snowy peaks, dramatic cliffs, icy rivers, and vast forests make Alaska a paradise for nature lovers and photographers. If you'd like, I can also provide pictures or a comparison between Alaska's mountains and those in other U.S. states. Mountain landscapes in Arizona, United States. Arizona is often associated with deserts and canyons, but it also has diverse and stunning mountain ranges. These mountains provide a dramatic contrast to the desert landscape and offer cool retreats, forests, and unique rock formations. 1. San Francisco Peaks. Located near Flagstaff, these are the highest mountains in Arizona. The tallest peak, Humphreys Peak, reaches 12,637 feet, 3,852 meters. The area is covered with pine forests and even experiences snowfall in winter, making it a popular spot for hiking and skiing. 2. Superstition Mountains. Found just east of Phoenix, these mountains are known for their rugged beauty and the legend of the Lost Dutchman's gold mine. The area features dramatic cliffs, desert vegetation, and great trails for hiking and rock climbing. 3. White Mountains. Located in eastern Arizona, these mountains are cooler and greener, offering alpine forests, lakes, and meadows. a great spot for camping, fishing, and spotting wildlife like elk and deer. 4. Chiricahua Mountains. Located in the southeast corner of Arizona, this range is part of the Sky Islands, isolated mountain ranges rising from desert basins, famous for its unique rock formations and diverse ecosystems. From desert to pine forest, Chiricahua National Monument showcases dramatic stone spires and scenic hiking trails. 5. Mule and Santa Rita Mountains. Located in southern Arizona, near Tucson, these ranges are home to lush canyons, caves, and rich biodiversity, including birds, bears, and mountain lions. Overall features of Arizona's mountain landscapes. Varied ecosystems, from desert foothills to pine-covered peaks and snow-capped summits. Cultural significance. Many mountains are sacred to Native American tribes and have deep historical importance. Outdoor activities, ideal for hiking, camping, rock climbing, skiing, and wildlife viewing. Stunning sunrises and sunsets. The colors of the rocks and sky, especially during sunrise and sunset, create spectacular views. Arizona's mountains show how rich and diverse the state's natural beauty is, not just hot deserts, but also cool forests and majestic peaks. Let me know if you'd like pictures or maps to go with this. Mountain landscapes in Arkansas. Arkansas is known for its natural beauty, especially its two prominent mountain ranges, the Ozark Mountains and the Washito Mountains. These regions offer stunning vistas, rich biodiversity, and a wide range of outdoor activities. 1. The Ozark Mountains. Location: northern and northwestern Arkansas, extending into Missouri. Landscape: characterized by rugged hills, deep valleys, clear streams, limestone bluffs, and dense forests. Geology: composed mainly of sedimentary rock like limestone and dolomite, leading to beautiful cave systems, for example, Blanchard Springs Caverns. Recreation: popular for hiking, mountain biking, fishing, and canoeing. The Buffalo National River, one of the few undammed rivers in the U.S., flows through this region. Wildlife and flora: home to oak, hickory, and pine forests, along with wildlife such as deer, black bears, and a variety of birds. Seasons: particularly stunning in autumn when the forests display vibrant fall colors. 2. The Washito Mountains. Location: western and central Arkansas, extending into eastern Oklahoma. Landscape: known for east to west ridges unusual for U.S. mountain ranges, pine-covered hills, and clear lakes. Geological: older than the Ozarks, with metamorphic and igneous rocks like quartz and novec. Highlights: Washito National Forest offers numerous trails and campsites. Hot Springs National Park, famous for its natural thermal springs and historic Mount Magazine, the highest point in Arkansas, offering panoramic views and opportunities for rock climbing and hang gliding. Biodiversity: features unique plant and animal species due to its varied terrain and climate. Conclusion: Arkansas's mountainous regions are a hidden gem in the United States, with their scenic beauty, geological richness, and recreational possibilities. The Ozark and Washito Mountains make Arkansas a paradise for nature lovers and adventurers alike. Let me know if you'd like photos, maps, or a travel itinerary. Mountain and elevated landscapes in Illinois. Illinois is mostly known for its flat to gently rolling terrain, especially in the central and northern regions, and it does not have any true mountains. However, the state does feature some elevated hills, scenic bluffs, and rugged terrain, particularly in the southern and northwestern parts. These areas provide beautiful landscapes, hiking opportunities, and panoramic views that resemble low mountain environments. 1. Shawnee Hills and Shawnee National Forest, southern Illinois. Location: southern tip of Illinois, near the borders with Kentucky and Missouri. Landscape: rolling hills, rocky cliffs, sandstone formations, and dense forests. Lush with wildlife, waterfalls, and wildflowers. Notable sites: Garden of the Gods, a stunning area with towering rock formations, scenic overlooks, and hiking trails. Rimrock and Pounds Hollow, forested trails, and beautiful bluffs. Little Grand Canyon, a deep ravine with cliffs, waterfalls, and lush vegetation. Activities: hiking, rock climbing, camping, birdwatching. Dos Angeles Mound, northwestern Illinois. Height: 1,235 feet, 376 meters. The highest natural point in Illinois. Location near the town of Scales Mound, close to the Wisconsin border. Landscape: located in the driftless area, a region of rugged terrain that escaped glacial flattening during the last ice age. Rolling hills, ridges, and small valleys. Note: privately owned, but occasionally open to visitors on select weekends. 3. Mississippi River Bluffs and Palisades, western Illinois. Location: along the Mississippi River, particularly near Galena and Savannah. Landscape: high bluffs rising above the river with forests, prairies, and scenic overlooks. Notable parks: Mississippi Palisades State Park, dramatic limestone cliffs, forested canyons, and river views. Apple River Canyon State Park, deep canyon carved by Apple River, with rocky ridges and hiking trails. 4. Ogle and LaSalle Counties, north central Illinois. Starved Rock State Park, sandstone canyons, waterfalls, forest trails, and scenic river bluffs. Matheson State Park, nearby park with similar features: canyons, streams, and wooded hills. Conclusion: although Illinois lacks mountains in the traditional sense, it offers beautiful and rugged elevated landscapes in its southern and northwestern regions. From the rocky bluffs of the Mississippi River to the forested hills of the Shawnee National Forest, the state provides peaceful and scenic places for hiking, photography, and nature exploration. Let me know if you'd like a comparison to truly mountainous states or suggestions for nature trips within Illinois. Indiana is not known for mountain scenery in the traditional sense, as the state is mostly flat to gently rolling. It doesn't have true mountains like those found in the Rockies or Appalachians. However, Indiana does offer some beautiful elevated and hilly landscapes, especially in the southern part of the state. Here's what you can expect. 1. Hoosier National Forest. Located in south central Indiana, this area offers the most mountain-like scenery in the state. The hilly terrain features forested ridges, deep ravines, and scenic overlooks. Popular spots include Hemlock Cliffs, Cedar Bluffs, and Pioneer Mother's Memorial Forest. Autumn brings especially vivid colors to the rolling hills, creating a mountainous feel. 2. Brown County. Often called the Little Smokies due to its resemblance to the Great Smoky Mountains, Brown County State Park is Indiana's largest state park and has high ridges, wooded valleys, and scenic vistas. Especially famous in the fall for its colorful foliage. 3. Knobstone Escarpment. This rugged geological feature in southern Indiana includes the Knobstone Trail, which is often considered the most challenging hiking trail in the state. While not true mountains, the steep knobs and ridges create a mountainous atmosphere. Summary: while Indiana doesn't have mountains by geographic definition, its southern hills and forested highlands provide some of the best mountain-like scenery in the Midwest. If you're looking for that rugged outdoor feel within the state, Hoosier National Forest and Brown County are your best bets. Iowa, like Indiana, is generally not known for mountains. It is largely a state of rolling plains, prairies, and farmland. However, there are regions with surprisingly rugged, scenic terrain, especially in the northeast where glacial activity did not flatten the land during the last ice age. Here's a look at Iowa's most mountain-like scenery. Driftless area, northeast Iowa. This is the closest Iowa comes to mountain scenery. Topography: steep bluffs, limestone cliffs, deep river valleys, and heavily wooded hills. Why it's unique? This area was not flattened by glaciers, unlike most of the Midwest, so it retains ancient, rugged terrain. Notable spots: Dakota, surrounded by high ridges, waterfalls like Dunnings, Spring, and forested hills. Effigy Mounds National Monument. features sacred Native American burial mounds on elevated bluffs overlooking the Mississippi River. Pikes Peak State Park offers sweeping views of the Mississippi from towering bluffs, especially stunning in fall. Loess Hills, western Iowa, a rare geological formation of wind-blown silt hills stretching along the Missouri River. While not tall like mountains, the Loess Hills rise dramatically above the plains, rich in natural diversity with prairie ridges, wooded valleys, and panoramic overlook. Summary: Iowa doesn't have mountains, but in places like the Driftless area and the Loess Hills, the land is dramatically elevated, forested, and deeply scenic. These regions offer a quiet, ancient beauty that feels almost mountainous, especially when viewed from the bluffs above the Mississippi River. If you're seeking rugged terrain and big views in Iowa, head northeast or west. You might be surprised by what you find. Kentucky, unlike Indiana or Iowa, does have true mountainous regions, especially in the eastern part of the state, where the Appalachian Mountains begin to roll in. The mountain scenery here is lush, dramatic, and rich in both natural beauty and cultural heritage. Louisiana is a state known for its bayous, swamps, and flat coastal plains, not for mountain scenery. In fact, it is one of the flattest states in the U.S., with the highest point being Driscoll Mountain, which rises to just 535 feet 163 meters above sea level. Despite its name, Driscoll Mountain is more of a gentle hill than a true mountain. Mountain scenery in Louisiana. What it is really like? While Louisiana lacks actual mountain landscapes, there are some hilly regions in the northwestern and northern central parts of the state. Driscoll Mountain, Bienville Parish, the highest natural point in the state, located in a wooded area with pine forests and gently rolling hills, offers a short hiking trail and peaceful, forested views, pleasant but not mountainous by most standards. Kisatchie Hills Wilderness. Kisatchie National Forest, located in central Louisiana, this is the closest thing to rugged terrain in the state. Features sandstone bluffs, rock outcrops, steep ridges, and clear streams. The Longleaf Vista Recreation Area offers scenic overlooks and forested trails with rolling, elevated terrain. While not mountainous, it gives a surprising sense of elevation compared to the rest of Louisiana. Summary: Louisiana doesn't have true mountain scenery, but it does offer subtle, rolling highlands in the northern part of the state. Areas like Kisatchie National Forest and Driscoll Mountain provide gentle hills, forested ridges, and rocky outcrops, offering a change from the flat delta landscape most associated with the state. So, while you won't find sweeping mountain vistas here, there's still natural beauty and elevation, just in a more modest, quietly scenic form. Maine has some of the most dramatic and rugged mountain scenery in the eastern United States. It's where the Appalachian Mountains meet the Atlantic Ocean, creating a unique blend of jagged peaks, forested slopes, alpine lakes, and coastal cliffs. If you're looking for true mountain beauty with a wilderness feel, Maine delivers. Western Mountains of Maine, part of the Appalachian mountain chain. These mountains are remote, densely forested, and deeply scenic, known for rolling highlands, rocky ridges, and crystal-clear lakes. Popular peaks: Mount Katahdin, the highest point in Maine, 5,269 feet, and the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. Features alpine tundra, steep cliffs, and sweeping views over endless wilderness. Bigelow Range offers knife-edge ridgelines and panoramic views of Flagstaff Lake, Saddleback Mountain, and Sugarloaf. Known for skiing in winter and hiking in summer, with commanding summit vistas. Acadia National Park, Mount Desert Island, a stunning combination of coastal cliffs and rounded granite peaks. Cadillac Mountain is the tallest mountain on the U.S. Atlantic coast, 1,530 feet, and first to see sunrise in the U.S. The park features rocky summits, dense forests, and ocean views, often all visible in one breathtaking scene. Unique in that you can hike a mountain trail and look down on crashing surf and forested islands. Seasonal beauty. In fall, Maine's mountains explode with fiery reds, oranges, and golds. In winter, snow blankets the peaks, creating a quiet, almost Arctic atmosphere. Spring and summer bring wildflowers, rushing streams, and alpine greenery. Summary: Maine's mountain scenery is a mix of raw wilderness, alpine drama, and coastal charm. Whether it's the towering Katahdin, the craggy or the ocean-kissed peaks of Acadia, the state offers a variety of mountain experiences, many of them rugged, peaceful, and deeply unspoiled. It's a haven for hikers, nature lovers, and anyone looking for real, untamed mountain beauty in the Northeast. Appalachian Mountains. Eastern Kentucky. This region is part of the Cumberland Plateau, a rugged section of the Appalachians. Expect heavily forested ridges, narrow valleys, hollers, limestone cliffs, and sparkling streams. The scenery is especially misty and mysterious in the morning, with fog rising from the wooded valleys. Cumberland Mountains and Cumberland Gap. The Cumberland Mountains extend into southeastern Kentucky. Cumberland Gap National Historical Park offers dramatic ridges and sweeping views, including Pinnacle Overlook, where you can see into Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia all at once. The area is steeped in pioneer history and natural beauty. Red River Gorge, Daniel Boone National Forest, sometimes called the Grand Canyon of the East, features natural rock arches, sheer cliffs, deep gorges, and dense hardwood forests. A mecca for rock climbers, hikers, and nature lovers. Scenic highlights include Sky Bridge, Chimney Top Rock, and the Nata Tunnel. Fall foliage and scenic drive. Kentucky's mountainous regions put on a spectacular autumn display, a patchwork of reds, oranges, and golds across the ridges. The Country Music Highway US 23 or the Red River Gorge Scenic Byway offer some of the best views. Summary: Kentucky's mountain scenery is rugged, green, and deeply atmospheric. The Appalachian foothills, the Cumberland Mountains, and the Red River Gorge make eastern Kentucky one of the most scenic and geologically fascinating parts of the southeastern U.S. If you're looking for real mountain vistas with fog-draped peaks, forested cliffs, and deep-cut valleys, Kentucky delivers. Maryland may be a small state, but it offers a surprisingly diverse range of landscapes, including real mountain scenery in its western region. While the eastern part of Maryland is coastal and flat, western Maryland is part of the Appalachian Mountains, with rugged ridges, forested valleys, rocky outcrops, and sweeping vistas. Appalachian Mountains. Western Maryland. This region includes the Allegheny Mountains, part of the Greater Appalachian chain. Key features: elevated ridges and rolling mountains with elevations often between 2,000 to 3,000 feet. Deep valleys, forested slopes, and clear mountain streams. Seasonal beauty, especially vibrant in autumn. Notable areas: 1. Backbone Mountain, Maryland's highest point at 3,360 feet. Located near the West Virginia border, offers remote, densely wooded scenery, ideal for hiking and solitude. 2. Catoctin Mountain Park, located in north-central Maryland, part of the Blue Ridge Mountains, home to Cunningham Falls, scenic overlooks, and Camp David, the U.S. presidential retreat. Hiking trails wind through rocky terrain, pine forests, and stream-fed hollows. 3. Savage River State Forest, one of the largest public lands in Maryland, features wild, rugged mountain landscapes with dense hardwood forests and backcountry trails. 4. Green Ridge State Forest, known for panoramic views of the Potomac River, winding mountain roads, and remote, undeveloped scenery, offers excellent backcountry camping and quiet Appalachian mountain beauty. 5. Appalachian Trail AT. The AT crosses through western Maryland for about 40 miles. Hikers enjoy scenic ridges, historic Civil War sites, and views of the South Mountain Range. Summary: mountain scenery in Maryland is concentrated in the west, where the state's portion of the Appalachian Mountains provides rolling peaks, forested ridges, and rocky overlooks. It's not as dramatic as the Rockies, but Maryland's mountains offer peace, tree-covered beauty, excellent hiking and a sense of quiet wilderness, especially appealing to those seeking mountain experiences close to the mid-Atlantic coast. Massachusetts may be better known for its coastline and colonial history, but it also offers genuinely beautiful mountain scenery, particularly in the western part of the state. The terrain here is part of the northern Appalachian Mountains, and it features rolling peaks, wooded ridges, deep river valleys, and scenic vistas that are especially stunning in fall. Berkshire Mountains, western Massachusetts. The Berkshires are the heart of mountain scenery in the state. Low but rugged mountains that combine natural beauty with cultural richness. Features elevations typically range from 1,000 to over 3,000 feet, covered in mixed hardwood forests, which erupt in fiery reds and golds during autumn. Known for a mix of wild nature and quaint New England towns. Notable peaks. Mount Greylock at 3,491 feet. It's the highest point in Massachusetts. Offers sweeping views into several states. Home to Bascom Lodge, the War Memorial Tower, and part of the Appalachian Trail. Mount Everett features alpine-like summit environments and overlooks the Housatonic River Valley. Scenic areas and trails. Appalachian Trail runs through western Massachusetts, offering access to rugged ridges, peaceful forests, and panoramic overlooks. Mount Holyoke Range near Amherst and Hadley. This small but steep ridgeline includes Mount Norwottuck, offering cliffside views of the Connecticut River. Ashburn Falls State Park. Near the New York border, this area features dramatic terrain, a high waterfall, and rocky trails in a mountain gorge setting. Seasonal beauty. Full foliage in the mountains of Massachusetts is world famous, drawing leaf peepers from all over the region. Winter brings skiing to places like Jiminy Peak and Berkshire East. Spring and summer offer lush greenery, wildflowers, and cooler temperatures than the lowlands. Summary. Massachusetts offers gently rugged mountain scenery, particularly in the Berkshires, where you'll find rolling peaks, forested ridges, and deep cultural roots. With Mount Greylock towering over peaceful valleys, historic trails like the Appalachian, and seasonal beauty, western Massachusetts delivers authentic Appalachian charm in a accessible setting. Michigan isn't known for towering mountains like those in the Rockies or Appalachians, but it does offer beautiful and rugged highland scenery, especially in the Upper Peninsula, where you'll find ancient ridges, forested hills, rocky cliffs, and dramatic lake views that can feel mountain-like in spirit. Upper Peninsula, Michigan's wild highlands. Porcupine Mountains, a.k.a. the Porkies, located along the south shore of Lake Superior in the western U.S. This is Michigan's most rugged and mountain-like terrain. Feature forested ridges, rocky outcrops, and deep river gorges. Lake of the Clouds. One of the state's most iconic vistas seen from a high overlook surrounded by tree-covered mountains, waterfalls, backcountry hiking, and expansive wilderness. The peaks are modest in elevation, rarely over 2,000 feet, but feel wild and elevated thanks to the surrounding flatlands and proximity to the Great Lakes. Huron Mountains, a remote, largely undeveloped range near Marquette and Big Bay. Home to Mount Arvin, the highest point in Michigan, 1,979 feet. The scenery includes granite outcrops, boreal forests, and sparkling inland lakes. Some areas are privately owned and protected, contributing to a pristine, untouched feel. Lake Superior, cliffs and bluffs. Places like Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore offer towering cliffs and dramatic rock formations above the lake, which, while not mountains per se, feel mountainous in scale and grandeur. Trails run along high bluffs with panoramic views of Lake Superior's turquoise waters. Lower Peninsula, mostly flat or gently rolling. The northern Lower Peninsula around Petoskey and Traverse City features forest-covered hills, sandstone bluffs, and coastal highlands, but not true mountains. Seasonal highlights. Fall foliage paints the UP's ridges in fiery reds and golds. Winter snows transform the Porkies into a quiet alpine-like wonderland for snowshoeing and backcountry skiing. Summer brings hiking, lake views, and cool breezes off Lake Superior. Summary. While Michigan doesn't have towering peaks, it does have authentic mountain-like scenery, especially in the Upper Peninsula, where the Porcupine and Huron Mountains offer rugged, forested terrain, sweeping overlooks, and a true sense of wilderness. If you're seeking a wild, highland adventure with Great Lakes beauty, Michigan's UP is the place to go. Minnesota isn't widely known for mountains, but it does have rugged, elevated landscapes, especially in the northeastern part of the state along Lake Superior's north shore. Here, the terrain is part of the ancient Canadian Shield, featuring rocky ridges, cliffs, forested highlands, and deep glacial valleys that offer a surprisingly mountainous feel. Northeastern Minnesota, the Arrowhead region. This is where Minnesota's most dramatic terrain is found. Near the Superior Upland, a geological extension of the Laurentian Highlands, Sawtooth Mountains. Not towering peaks, but a distinct line of rugged, jagged ridges running along Lake Superior shore. Elevations rise sharply from the lake to about 1,800 feet. Key views. Carlton Peak offers sweeping vistas of Lake Superior and surrounding forests. Ozark Mountain, a popular loop hike with 360-degree views of ridges, inland lakes, and the big lake below. The terrain drops steeply to the water, creating a dramatic, alpine-like effect. Eagle Mountain. At 2,301 feet, it's the highest natural point in Minnesota. Located in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area, Wilderness Speed, reached via scenic 7-mile round-trip trail through dense forest and rocky glacial landscapes. Offers a remote, peaceful summit with expansive views of untouched wilderness. Superior Hiking Trail, a 300-plus-mile trail along the North Shore Highlands, offering clifftop views, waterfalls, rocky overlooks, and birch and pine forests. Views often combine elevated terrain with vast water vistas, a rare and striking combination. Seasonal beauty. Autumn turns the ridges into a tapestry of red, orange, and gold. Winter blankets the highlands in snow, offering peaceful cross-country skiing and snow. Summer brings deep greens, wildflowers, and cool lake breezes. Summary. Minnesota's mountain scenery is subtle but striking, especially in the northeastern Arrowhead region. The Sawtooth Mountains, Eagle Mountain, and the rocky ridges along Lake Superior deliver a rugged Northwoods wilderness experience, often with dramatic elevation changes and breathtaking lake views. It's a unique type of mountainous beauty, ancient, quiet, and deeply scenic. Mississippi is not known for dramatic mountain scenery, as it's one of the flattest and most low-lying states in the U.S. However, it does have rolling hills and uplands, especially in the northeastern and central parts of the state, where you can find modest but scenic highlands covered in forests and dotted with rocky out. The terrain offers a subtle, peaceful beauty rather than towering peaks. Northeast Mississippi, foothill scenery. Tishomingo State Park, located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, this is Mississippi's most rugged and mountain-like area. Features rocky ridges, boulder-strewn trails, and steep bluffs. The Bear Creek Canyon, with high sandstone cliffs and a winding creek, adds to the mountainous atmosphere. Native stone outcrops and hardwood forests give the park an almost Appalachian feel. Great for hiking, rock climbing, and enjoying a surprisingly rugged Mississippi landscape. Woodall Mountain, the highest point in Mississippi at 806 feet, located near Iuka close to Tishomingo State Park. Not a mountain in the dramatic sense, but a gently sloping hill with a summit marker and forested. The views are limited due to tree cover, but it marks the state's peak elevation. Central and Northern Hills. The North Central Hills region includes forested ridges and rolling up. Terrain is more hilly than mountainous, but offers peaceful drives, scenic byways, and small town charm amid wooded landscapes. Seasonal beauty. In fall, the wooded hills of northern Mississippi turn vibrant shades of orange, red, and gold. Spring brings dogwoods, redbuds, and blooming wildflowers across the highlands. Summers are lush and green, while winters are mild with occasional barrage views. Summary: while Mississippi lacks true mountains, it offers modestly rugged and surprisingly scenic upland terrain, especially in the northeast corner near Tishomingo State Park. Here, rocky ridges, forested hills, and winding creeks bring a quiet, natural beauty that hints at the nearby Appalachians. It's a landscape of subtle elevation and southern charm, perfect for relaxed outdoor adventures. Missouri offers some truly lovely mountain scenery, especially in its southern and southeastern regions, where the Ozark Mountains dominate the landscape. While these aren't towering alpine peaks, the Ozarks feature rugged hills, deep valleys, forested regions, and scenic rivers that create a distinctly mountainous feel called the Ozark Highlands. The Ozark Mountains, Ozark Plateau. Topography. The Ozarks consist of weathered, rounded mountains and steep, rocky ridges. Elevations range mostly between 1,000 and 1,700 feet, with the highest point, Tomsock Mountain, at 1,772 feet. The landscape features limestone bluffs, karst formations, caves and springs, and deep forested hollows. Natural beauty. Thick oak hickory forests covered the hillside. Clear streams and rivers, like the Current River and Jack's Fork River, wind through valleys. Waterfalls, such as those in Johnson's Châtain State Park, add to the rugged charm. Notable locations. 1. Tomsock Mountain, Missouri's highest point, located in Tomsock Mountain State Park, offers hiking trails with panoramic views of the surrounding hills. 2. Elephant Rocks State Park, famous for huge granite boulders that resemble a train of elephants. A unique geological feature nestled among forested hills. 3. Mark Twain National Forest covers much of the Ozark region, offers miles of hiking, horseback riding, and scenic drives through rolling hills and ridges. 4. Johnson's Châtain State Park, known for natural water shut-ins where rivers are forced through narrow, rocky channels. Rocky cliffs and pools create a rugged, mountainous atmosphere. Seasonal beauty. Fall foliage in the Ozarks is spectacular, painting the hills in bright reds, oranges, and yellows. Summers are lush and green, perfect for hiking, canoeing, and camping. Winters are mild but can bring frost and occasional snow that dusts the hills. Summary. Missouri's mountain scenery is centered in the Ozark Mountains, a region of rolling, forested hills, rugged ridges, and sparkling rivers. Though not towering, the Ozarks offer a richly textured, peaceful mountain experience with deep, natural beauty. Unique geology, stone, and plenty of outdoor recreation. It's a classic Midwestern mountain landscape, accessible, wild, and full of charm. Montana is truly a mountain lover's paradise. It's home to some of the most spectacular and diverse mountain scenery in the United States. Known as the Big Sky Country, Montana's mountains are vast, rugged, and breathtaking, offering everything from towering peaks to alpine lakes, deep valleys, and wide-open wilderness, Rocky Mountains, and beyond. Montana is dominated by several major mountain ranges, mostly part of the northern Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains, western Montana, includes iconic ranges like the Absaroka Bitterroot Mission, Sapphire, and Beaverhead Mountains, characterized by jagged snow-capped peaks often rising over 10,000 feet, with some exceeding 12,000 feet. Deep glacial valleys, alpine meadows, pine and fir forests, and sparkling mountain lakes are common. Wildlife rich, with frequent sightings of elk, moose, mountain goats, and bears. Glacier National Park, the crown jewel of Montana's mountain scenery, home to some of the most dramatic peaks in the Rockies, with over 25 named peaks above 9,000 feet. Features glaciers, crystal-clear alpine lakes, rugged cliffs, and deep valleys carved by ice. Iconic sites include Grinnell Glacier, Hidden Lake Overlook, and going to the Sonroda Scenic Mountain Drive. The park offers endless hiking, climbing, and wildlife viewing opportunities in pristine wilderness. The Big Sky and Madison ranges southwestern Montana, home to Yellowstone National Park's northern entrances. Peaks often top 11,000 feet with dramatic elevation changes. Rugged terrain with hot springs, river canyons, and dense forests. Great for backcountry skiing, hiking, and fishing. The Beartooth Mountains, located northeast of Yellowstone. These are some of the most rugged and highest peaks in Montana. Includes Granite Peak, 12,807 feet, the tallest mountain in Montana. Features alpine tundra, glacial cirques, and pristine high country lakes. Known for remote and challenging hiking terrain, seasonal highlights, summer, wildflower-filled meadows, clear skies, and perfect hiking weather. Fall, stunning displays of golden aspens contrasting with dark evergreens. Winter, heavy snowfalls create opportunities for skiing, snowboarding, and spring. Melting snow feeds rushing mountain streams and waterfalls. Summary: Montana's mountain scenery is vast, rugged, and wildly beautiful, ranging from the soaring peaks of Glacier National Park to the remote high country of the Burt. The state offers a true mountain wilderness experience with towering summits, deep valleys, crystal clear lakes, and abundant wildlife. Whether you're seeking dramatic alpine vistas or peaceful forested ridge, Montana delivers some of the most awe-inspiring mountain landscapes in North America. Nebraska is famously flat and is part of the Great Plains, so it doesn't have traditional mountain scenery like states farther west or in the up. However, Nebraska does feature some uplands, hills, and unique geological formations that offer scenic, elevated landscapes, especially in the western part of the state. Nebraska's high points and hills, Wildcat Hills, located in western Nebraska, near the city of a region of steep bluffs, rugged ridges, and pine-covered hills rising sharply from the flat plains. The terrain feels quite elevated compared to the surrounding prairie and offers dramatic rock formations and cliff overlooks. Popular for hiking, wildlife viewing, and scenic drive. Scotts Bluff National Monument, an iconic landmark with towering bluffs rising over 800 feet above the North Platte River. These bluffs served as a landmark for pioneers traveling west on the Oregon Trail. Offers panoramic views of the surrounding plains and distant hills. Panorama Point, Nebraska's highest natural point at 5,429 feet, located in the far southwest corner of the state. It's a gentle rise rather than a mountain, but the elevation provides sweeping views across the plains. Other elevated areas. The Niobrara River Valley and parts of the Sandhills region feature rolling dunes and hills that create a very gently elevated landscape. The lowest hills, though mostly in Iowa, extend slightly into eastern Nebraska, with unique wind-blown soil hills that feel different from the flat plains. Summary: Nebraska doesn't have mountains in the classic sense, but the Wildcat Hills and Scottsbluff provide the closest experience to rugged, elevated terrain in the states. These areas feature dramatic bluffs, pine-covered ridges, and scenic overlooks that stand out against Nebraska's famously flat backdrop. Its subtle mountain-like beauty more about hills and cliffs rising from the plains than tall peaks, but still scenic and worth exploring if you're in the region. Nevada has some of the most underappreciated mountain scenery in the United States, often thought of as just desert and casinos. Nevada is actually the most mountainous state in the lower 48, with over 300 individual mountain ranges crisscrossing its landscape. These ranges create a dramatic and diverse visual experience, from snow-capped alpine peaks to jagged desert ridges, all under vast, open skies. Key characteristics of Nevada's mountain scenery. Part of the Basin and Range Province, where north-south trendy mountain ranges alternate with wide, flat valleys. Most ranges are rugged and remote, with elevations often exceeding 10,000 feet. The scenery can feel wild, empty, and expansive, offering true solitude and dramatic contrasts. Notable mountain ranges and areas: Sierra Nevada, Western Edge, The eastern slopes of the Sierra Nevada spill into Nevada near Lake Tahoe and Reno, home to Mount Rose, 10,776 feet, offering stunning views of Lake Tahoe and the Great Basin. Alpine scenery. Pine forests, granite cliffs, alpine lakes, and snow-covered peaks. Ruby Mountains. Located in northeastern Nevada, near nicknamed the Swiss Alps of Nevada for their rugged beauty, features glaciated peaks, alpine lakes, and lush meadows. Ruby Crest Trail, a high-elevation backpacking route with panoramic mountain views. Lamoille Canyon, a deep U-shaped glacial canyon with waterfalls, cliffs, and forests. Toyab and Taquima Ranges, Central Nevada. Remote, high, and lightly visited. Mount Jefferson, 11,949 feet in the Taquima Range, is one of the highest in the state. The Toyab Crest Trail offers long ridge hikes with views over isolated basins and desert. Great Basin National Park, home to Wheeler Peak, 13,065 feet, Nevada's second highest peak, offers alpine scenery with bristlecone pine forests, glacial cirques, and caves. Lehman Cave. On clear nights, the stars are phenomenal. This is one of the darkest skies in the U.S. High desert meets mountains. Maniof, Nevada is. Mountain ranges rise sharply from arid desert basins, creating a stark and beautiful contrast. You might see sagebrush plains giving way to rocky peaks, sometimes with snow on top even in spring. Seasonal variation. Summer. Great for high-elevation hikes and backpacking in the Rubies or Sierra. Fall aspen groves blaze yellow and orange in the mountain canyons. Winter. The Sierra and higher ranges get snow, making them great for skiing and snowshoeing. Spring. Snowmelt feeds creeks and creates wildflower blooms in the high desert foothills. Summary. Nevada's mountain scenery is vast, wild, and incredibly diverse, a place of jagged peaks, alpine lakes, glacial valleys, and stark desert contrasts. Whether you're hiking the Ruby Mountains, exploring Wheeler Peak, or skiing above Lake Tahoe, Nevada offers a rich and dramatic landscape that rewards those willing to look beyond its desert reputation. It's one of the best-kept secrets in American mountain travel. New Hampshire offers some of the most iconic and dramatic mountain scenery in the eastern United States. Dominated by the White Mountains, the state features rugged granite peaks, deep notches, alpine ridgelines, and scenic forests all packed into a compact, easily accessible region. The White Mountains. This famous range covers much of northern New Hampshire and contains the highest and most rugged terrain in the northeastern U.S. Mount Washington, 6,288 feet, the highest peak in the northeastern U.S., known for extreme weather, stunning summit views, and the Mount Washington Auto Road and Cog Railway. From the top, you can see into 5 states, Canada, and the Atlantic Ocean on a clear day. Surrounded by the Presidential Range, which includes other high peaks like Mount Adams, Mount Jefferson, and Mount Madison. Franconia Ridge and the Pemigewasset Wilderness. Franconia Notch State Park features steep cliffs, waterfalls, and knife edge. The Franconia Ridge Trail is a classic hike, traversing above the tree line with jaw-dropping 360 views. The Pemigewasset Wilderness offers remote mountain scenery with dense forests, high ridges, and alpine ponds. Unique mountain features, alpine zones with stunted crumholes, trees, and Arctic tundra-like landscapes on higher peaks. Not just mountain passes like Crawford Notch, Pinkham Notch, and Franconia Notch slice between towering cliffs. Waterfalls, such as Arathusa Falls, the state's tallest, cascade down granite ledges in many mountain valleys. Recreation and trails. The Appalachian Trail passes through the heart of the White Mountains, including some of its most challenging and scenic stretches. Home to the White Mountain Hut system run by the Appalachian Mountain Club AMC, offering backcountry lodging with mountain views. Popular year-round, hiking in summer, foliage walks in fall, skiing and snowshoeing in winter, and wildflowers in spring. Seasonal beauty. Autumn is world-famous in New Hampshire, with fiery foliage covering the hills and valleys. Winter transforms the peaks into snow-covered giants, attracting skiers and mountaineers. Spring and summer bring lush greenery, clear mountain streams, and colorful wildflowers. Summary: New Hampshire's mountain scenery is compact, rugged, and spectacular, featuring some of the most impressive peaks east of the Rockies. The White Mountains, with their craggy ridgelines, alpine summits, and deep forested valleys, create a dramatic and ever-changing landscape that's perfect for anyone seeking true mountain adventure in the Northeast. New Jersey may not be the first place that comes to mind when you think of mountain scenery, but the state does have beautiful, rugged highlands, especially in the northwestern region. While there are no towering alpine peaks, New Jersey features rolling forested ridges, rocky out, and scenic river valleys that provide a genuine mountain-like experience in a relatively compact area. Kittatinny Mountains, located in northwestern New Jersey, along the border with Pennsylvania, part of the Appalachian Mountains, specifically the Ridge-and Valley Province. Elevations range from 1,200 to 1,800 feet, with the highest point being High Point 1,803 feet. The highest point in New Jersey, located in High Point State Park, offers sweeping views of the Pocono Mountains, the Catskills, and forests of New Jersey. The High Point Monument stands at the summit, adding a historic landmark to the scenic overlook. Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, one of the most beautiful mountain landscapes in the state, features steep ridges, cliffside trails, and the dramatic cut where the Delaware River slices through the Kittatinny Ridge. Popular hikes: Mount Amini, 1,526 feet. A favorite for its challenging trail and panoramic views of the Water Gap, Sunfish Pond Trail. A glacial lake nestled in the mountains, surrounded by hardwood forest and rocky ridge. Ramapo Mountains and Highlands region, located in northeastern New Jersey near the New York border. Rolling, rugged hills with mixed hardwood forests, boulder, strewn slopes, and serene lakes. Parks like Ramapo Mountain State Forest, Northern Green State Forest, and Wawanda State Park offer miles of woodland trails and mountain views. Seasonal beauty. Fall foliage paints the hills with vibrant red, orange, and yellow hues. Winter dusts the highlands in snow, ideal for hiking and snowshoeing. Spring and summer bring lush greenery, waterfalls, and wildflowers throughout the elevated woodlands. Summary: New Jersey's mountain scenery may not be high in elevation, but it is rich in natural beauty. The Kittatinny Mountains, High Point, and the Delaware Water Gap provide impressive ridges, forested summits, and expansive views. Combined with the rugged charm of the Ramapo Mountains, the state offers a surprising variety of accessible, scenic highland adventures just a short drive from urban areas. New Mexico is a state of stunning and diverse mountain scenery, where the southern Rockies, volcanic peaks, and high desert mesas come together to form a landscape that is dramatic, colorful, and uniquely southwestern. Its mountains range from snow-capped alpine summits to red rock canyons, offering rugged wilderness, ancient cultural sites, and spectacular panoramic views. Major mountain ranges in New Mexico: Sangre de Cristo Mountains, northern NM, the southernmost sub-range of the Rocky Mountains, stretching from Colorado into northern New Mexico. Features: Taos Mountain and Wheeler Peak, 13,161 feet. The highest point in New Mexico. Jagged ridgelines, alpine lakes, tundra meadows, and dense pine and aspen forests. Ski resorts like Taos Ski Valley are nestled into these dramatic peaks. In fall, the golden aspens create breathtaking color across the mountains. Sacramento Mountains, southern NM, rise abruptly from the desert near Alamogordo and White Sands. Home to Cloudcroft and Ruidoso, high-elevation communities surrounded by ponderosa pine and spruce forests. Offers cool green mountain retreats above the deserts with scenic drives and hiking trails. Jemez Mountains, north central NM, a volcanic mountain range near Los Alamos and Santa Fe, features the Valles Caldera Massif Calap Supervolcano with open meadows and wildlife, steep red cliffs, thermal springs, and conifer forests. Ancient Pueblo ruins such as Bandelier National Monument, built into the canyon walls. Gila Mountains and Mogollon Range southwest and located in the Gila Wilderness, the first designated wilderness area in the U.S., extremely remote and rugged, with deep canyons, wild rivers, and forested peaks. Ideal for backpacking, solitude, and stargazing in one of the darkest skies in America. Organ Mountains, southern and located near Las Cruces, these mountains are sharp spire-like peaks that rise dramatically from the desert. The Organ Needle, 8,990 feet, is the highest peak. Incredible for photography, hiking, and viewing sunrises and sunsets that light up the rock faces in fiery reds and purple. Scenic diversity. You can go from high alpine peaks with snow and spruce trees to painted deserts and cactus-covered foothills in just a couple of hours. Many ranges are dotted with petroglyphs, ruins, and sacred indigenous sites, giving the landscape deep cultural and spiritual significance. Seasonal beauty. Summer brings wildflowers to alpine meadows and cool retreats from the desert heat. Fall offers some of the best foliage in the southwest, especially in the Sangridi Creek. Winter sees snow-capped peaks, ideal for skiing and snow. Spring brings blooms to desert foothills and crisp mountain air. Summary: New Mexico's mountain scenery is diverse, dramatic, and deeply scenic, a blend of Rocky Mountain grandeur, volcanic plateaus, and desert cliffs. Whether you're hiking in the rugged La Wilderness, watching the sunset light up the Organ Mountains, or skiing above the clouds in Taos, North Carolina is home to some of the most iconic and majestic mountain scenery in the eastern United States, thanks to the Blue Ridge Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains, and Black Mountains. These ranges part of the ancient Appalachian chain offer a landscape of soaring, deep forested valleys, misty peaks, waterfalls, and panoramic views. North Carolina's mountains are especially famous for their lush biodiversity, rich cultural heritage, and four-season beauty. The Blue Ridge Mountains. Location: Western North Carolina. This range includes some of the most beloved peaks and views in the Appalachians, known for their bluish haze caused by moisture and plant-emitted oils in the air. The Blue Ridge Parkway, which winds through the region, offers spectacular overlooks, tunnels through rock, and ridge-top drives. Great Smoky Mountains. Location: western border with Tennessee. These mountains are part of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the most visited national park in the U.S., characterized by rugged peaks and ridge, dense temperate rainforests with incredible biodiversity, mystical morning fog, and rolling mountain silhouettes. Popular spots include Klingman's Dome, 6,643 feet, the highest point in the Deep Creek in Cataloochee Valley, known for waterfalls and elk sightings. Black Mountain, home to Mount Mitchell, 6,684 feet, the highest peak in the eastern U.S., located just northeast of Asheville in Mount Mitchell State Park. Alpine-like scenery with cooler temperatures, spruce fir forests, and sweeping views from the summit. Trails like the Mount Mitchell Trail and Deep Gap Trail offer challenging routes with rewarding scenery. Pisgah and Nantahala National Forests cover much of western North Carolina and protect vast swaths of mountain wilderness. Highlights: Sliding Rock, Looking Glass Rock, Leanville Gorge, and Roan Highlands. Hundreds of waterfalls, trout streams, and backcountry trails. Seasonal beauty. Fall. North Carolina's mountains are world famous for vibrant foliage ablaze of reds, oranges, and golds across rolling hills. Spring, wildflowers like rhododendrons, mountain laurel, and trilliums bloom in forest clearings. Summer lush, green forests offer cool mountain air, perfect for hiking, camping, and stream wading. Winter, snow dusts the high elevations and views open up through the leafless trees. Summary: North Carolina's mountain scenery is rich, varied, and profoundly beautiful, a mix of towering forested peaks, misty valleys, ancient rock formations, and cascading streams. Whether you're hiking to the summit of Mount Mitchell, cruising the Blue Ridge Parkway, or soaking in the views from Grandfather Mountain, the region offers some of the finest and most accessible mountain landscapes in the East. North Dakota isn't traditionally known for mountains, but it does feature rugged and elevated terrain, particularly in the western part of the state, where buttes, badlands, and rolling uplands offer a dramatic and scenic alternative to the flat plains found elsewhere in the region. While not mountainous in the alpine sense, parts of North Dakota have a distinctively wild and rugged highland character. The Badlands. Western North Dakota. Theodore Roosevelt National Park, the most striking mountain-like landscape in the state, located in the Little Missouri River Valley. The terrain features eroded rock formations, colorful layered cliffs, and towering deep canyons, steep ravines, and wide plateaus carved by wind and water. A rugged semi-arid wilderness that glows in reds, browns, and golds, especially at sunrise and sunset. Wildlife such as bison, wild horses, bighorn sheep, and prairie dogs roam the area freely. Notable high points. Buck Hill, one of the highest accessible points in Theodore Roosevelt National Park, offering vast panoramic views over the Badlands. Painted Canyon Overlook offers stunning vistas of the multicolored sculpted landscape. Killdeer Mountains, located in western North Dakota near the town of Kilo. Technically buttes, not true mountains, but they rise prominently from the surrounding prairie, covered in forests and grasslands, offering rolling, elevated terrain ideal for hiking and horseback riding. Historically significant as a Native American site and battle location. Turtle Mountains, found in northern North Dakota, along the border with Canada, a region of gentle hills, small lakes, and wooded ridges, unlike the surrounding plains. More subtle than the western Badlands but still scenic, especially in fall. Home to Turtle Mountain State Forest and Lake Merigo State Park, popular for camping and nature walks. Seasonal highlights. Summer, green grasslands contrast sharply with the rocky Badlands. Fall, bright foliage colors the Turtle Mountains and higher forested ridge. Winter, snow transforms the Badlands into a quiet, starkly beautiful wilderness. Spring, wildflowers bloom across high prairie and hilltops. Summary, while North Dakota doesn't have traditional mountains, it offers rugged, elevated scenery in the form of buttes and upland forests. The Badlands of Theodore Roosevelt National Park deliver the most dramatic, mountain-like views with their jagged ridges, steep cliffs, and wide open skies. Combined with the Killdeer and Turtle Mountains, North Dakota provides a distinct, windswept kind of mountain beauty, quiet, remote, and full of natural history. Ohio is not a mountainous state in the traditional sense, but it does offer hilly, elevated landscapes, especially in the southeastern region, where the terrain is shaped by the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. While there are no towering peaks, Ohio's rolling hills, forested ridges, sandstone cliffs, and river valleys create scenic, mountain-like environments that are rich in natural beauty and outdoor recreation. Appalachian Plateau, Southeast Ohio. This region features Ohio's most rugged and elevated terrain, part of the western edge of the Appalachian Mountains. Hucken Hills, perhaps Ohio's most famous scenic area. Not true mountains, but the deep gorges, towering sandstone cliffs, and forested hills offer a dramatic and mountain-esque feel. Highlights include Old Man's Cave, Ash Cave, and Cedar Falls, rock shelters, waterfalls, and tight canyon passages. Lush hardwood forests cover the hills, turning spectacular colors in autumn. Wayne National Forest, Ohio's only national forest, covering parts of southeastern Ohio, features rolling hills, wooded ridges, and scenic byways. Offers hiking, backpacking, and off-road trails through remote, elevated terrain. Allegheny Plateau. This broader region includes southeast and eastern Ohio, characterized by deep-cut valleys, rocky outcroppings, and heavily forested uplands. Many state parks and preserves offer views over ridges and winding rivers, for example, Salt Fork, Burr Oak, and Lake Hope State Parks. Northern and western Ohio. These areas are largely flat or gently rolling due to glacial activity. However, isolated high points and small ridges exist, such as Campbell Hill, Ohio's highest point at 1,550 feet, located in Bell, scenic but not mountainous, surrounded mostly by farmland and low hills. Seasonal beauty. Autumn is the best time to see Ohio's hill country shine. Brilliant foliage blankets the hills. Spring brings wildflowers and waterfall flows. Winter offers a quiet, snowy stillness in wooded hills and ravines. Summer is lush, green, and perfect for hiking or paddling. Summary: Ohio doesn't have high mountains, but it features beautiful Appalachian-style hill country in the southeastern part of the state. Areas like Hocking Hills, the Allegheny Plateau, and Wayne National Forest offer rocky ridges, forested bluffs, and dramatic ravines that feel far removed from the flat farmland of northern and western Ohio. It's a subtle and underrated mountain-like landscape, rich in nature and perfect for peaceful outdoor adventures. Oklahoma might be best known for wide-open plains, but it also has surprisingly rugged and scenic mountain landscapes, especially in its southern and eastern regions. These ranges are ancient, weathered, and often isolated, offering a mix of rocky peaks, forested hills, scenic and hidden waterfalls, a unique blend of Appalachian and Western character. Major mountain ranges in Oklahoma: Wichita Mountains, southwest Oklahoma, located near Lawton in Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge. Some of the oldest mountains in North America, around 500 million years old. Landscape features: granite peaks, boulder-strewn slopes, and high plains. Mount Scott, 2,464 feet. Accessible by road with panoramic views of lakes and rock formations. Open grasslands dotted with buffalo, longhorn cattle, and elk. A stunning contrast between towering rock outcrops and flat prairie. Washito Mountains, southeastern Oklahoma, extend into Oklahoma from Arkansas. Part of the Washito National Forest, more forested and rugged than the Wichitos, with a distinctly Appalachian feel. Notable features: Kiamichi Mountains and winding Stair Mountains. Talimina Scenic Drive, a famous mountain road offering sweeping ridgetop views, especially beautiful in fall. Thick pine and hardwood forests, rocky ridgelines, and remote hiking trails. A haven for camping, backpacking, and birdwatching. Arbuckle Mountains, south central Oklahoma. A small but geologically rich range near Sulphur and Davis. Features: rolling hills, limestone cliffs, waterfalls, and spring-fed streams. Turner Falls, Oklahoma's tallest waterfall, cascading 77 feet in a lush canyon. Part of Chickasaw National Recreation Area, known for scenic drives and mineral springs. A more relaxed and family-friendly mountain area with plenty of swimming holes. Seasonal beauty. Fall brilliant foliage in the Wachitas and Arbuckles, maples, oaks, and sweet gum trees explode in red, orange, and gold. Spring, wildflowers cover meadows and hillsides. Rivers and waterfalls are full. Summer, lush greenery in forested mountains, excellent for hiking and swimming. Winter, quiet and starkly beautiful, especially in the rocky Wichita terrain. Summary: Oklahoma's mountain scenery is diverse, rugged, and often unexpected. From the weathered granite domes of the Wichita Mountains to the forested ridges of the Wachitas and the waterfall-rich Arbuckle, the state offers three distinct mountain regions, each with its own character. These landscapes provide dramatic views, rich wildlife, and peaceful wilderness, making Oklahoma a hidden gem for those seeking mountain beauty off the beaten path. Oregon boasts some of the most striking and diverse mountain scenery in the United States, shaped by volcanic activity, glaciers, and ancient tectonic forces. From snow-capped stratovolcanoes to rugged coastal cliffs, Oregon's mountainous landscapes are both visually dramatic and ecologically rich. The state is part of the Pacific Northwest's Cascade Range, but also includes the Wallowas Blues and Coast Range, offering everything from alpine peaks to ocean-faced Cascade Range, central Oregon, north to south. This is Oregon's most iconic mountain region, home to massive volcanic peaks rising sharply from surrounding forests and valleys. Mount Hood 11,249 feet. Oregon's tallest mountain and a potentially active stratovolcano. Often snow-capped year-round and visible from Portland. Features glaciers, ridges, and alpine lakes. A magnet for hiking, skiing, and mountaineering. The Timberline Trail circles the mountain with panoramic alpine views. Three Sisters, Mount Jefferson, Mount Bachelet, a cluster of prominent peaks surrounded by lava fields, pine forests, and high desert. The Three Sisters Wilderness is especially renowned for its jagged peaks, wildflower meadows, glacial lakes, and waterfalls. Mount Bachelor is also a major ski resort destination. Wallowa Mountains, Northeast Oregon, sometimes called the Alps of Oregon for their rugged alpine appearance, found in the Wallowa-Whitman National Forest and surrounding Eagle Cap Wilderness, features granite peaks, deep glacial valleys, and turquoise alpine lakes, popular for backpacking, horseback riding, and wildlife viewing. Mount Howard and Eagle Cap offer breathtaking summit views. Coast Range, Western Oregon, parallels the Pacific Ocean. Lower elevation but heavily forested and rich in scenery. Features steep ridges, mossy forests, and ocean views. Trails like Cape Perpetua and Nittany Mountain offer views of waves crashing against rugged cliffs and sea stacks below. Fog-filled valleys and fern-covered trails give it a mystical feel. Blue Mountains and Elkhorn Range, Eastern Oregon, less visited and more remote, these ranges offer rolling, pine-covered mountains, rugged peaks, and quiet solitude. The Elkhorns near Baker City rise steeply and feature glacial cirques and alpine meadows. Crater Lake National Park, one of the most visually stunning natural features in the U.S., a collapsed volcano, Mount Mazamar, that formed a deep, pure blue lake. Sheer caldera cliffs surround the water, rising nearly 2,000 feet above the lake's surface, snowy in winter and sparkling under summer sun. It's a mountain landscape like no other. Seasonal highlights: summer, clear skies and open trails to alpine lakes, wildflower meadows, and summit ridges. Fall, stunning foliage in the Wallowas and Coast Range. Winter, deep snow blankets the Cascades, ideal for skiing. And spring, waterfalls gush with snow melt. Wildflowers bloom in the lower elevations. Summary: Oregon's mountain scenery is dramatic, diverse, and profoundly beautiful. From the towering volcanoes of the Cascades to the rugged wilderness of the Wallowas and the fog-draped cliffs of the Coast Range, Oregon delivers every kind of mountain experience. Whether you're looking for alpine adventure, peaceful forest hikes, or sweeping ocean vistas, Oregon's mountains offer something extraordinary in every season. Pennsylvania's mountain scenery is part of the ancient Appalachian mountain system, offering rolling ridges, forested highlands, dramatic river gorges, and sweeping valley views. Though not towering like the Rockies, Pennsylvania's mountains are deeply scenic, with a timeless, rugged beauty shaped by erosion and time. The state's terrain features long, folded ridgelines, quiet wooded peaks, and steep river valleys that are especially vivid in autumn. Appalachian Mountains in Pennsylvania, Allegheny Mountains, the Allegheny Plateau Central and Western PA. This broad region contains elevated uplands, rolling summits, and deep forested hollows. The Allegheny Front forms a dramatic escarpment with wide views over lower valleys. Much of the region is covered in hardwood forests, particularly within Allegheny National Forest, Cook Forest State Park, famous for its ancient old-growth hemlocks and deep wooded gorges. Pocono Mountains, northeastern, more rugged and isolated than the central ridges, with steep hills, waterfalls, and forested slopes. A popular mountain getaway with scenic overlooks, lakes, and quaint mountain towns. Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, where the Delaware River cuts through the Kittatinny Ridge, creating sheer cliffs and dramatic valley views. Great for hiking, especially to Mount Tammany and Mount Mincy, with panoramic river and ridge views. Ridge and Valley Region, South Central to Eastern PA, known for its long, parallel ridge lines separated by fertile valleys. The Appalachian Trail traverses this region, offering beautiful summit views and rocky Notable spots include Hawk Mountain Sanctuary, a famous raptor migration overlook with far-reaching mountain views. Lehigh Gap, a dramatic pass where the Lehigh River cuts through Blue Mountain. Laurel Highlands, southwestern, a scenic mountain region known for rolling ridges, rocky outcrops, and hidden waterfalls. Ohiopyle State Park with the Youghiogheny River Gorge and cascading rapids. Mount Davis, 3,213 feet. The highest point in Pennsylvania, offering wide-open views from a fire tower. Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, built right into a mountain stream landscape. Seasonal beauty. Fall. One of the best places in the US for autumn foliage. Entire ridges explode in shades of red, orange, and yellow. Spring. Mountain streams swell, wildflowers bloom, and wooded trails become vibrant and green. Summer. Cool, shaded forest paths are ideal for hiking, camping, and wildlife watching. Winter. Snow blankets the hills, especially in the Poconos and Laurel Highlands, ideal for skiing and snow. Summary. Pennsylvania's mountain scenery is subtle, soulful, and incredibly diverse, a landscape shaped by time, water, and wilderness. From the Pocono Cliffs and waterfalls to the broad Allegheny Highlands, and from Appalachian ridgelines to peaceful mountain forests, the state offers a rich tapestry of rugged natural beauty, perfect for hiking. Scenic drives, fall foliage trips, and quiet nature escapes. Pennsylvania's mountains are a hidden gem of the eastern U.S. Rhode Island, the smallest state in the U.S., does not have true mountains. Its landscape is mostly composed of rolling hills, low ridges, coastal plains, and forested uplands. While you won't find alpine peaks or dramatic mountain ranges here, southern New England's natural beauty still shines through in Rhode Island's gently elevated terrain and rocky coastal highlands. Topography overview. The highest point in the state is Jerimoth Hill, 812 feet, located in Forster, western Rhode Island. While modest in elevation, it offers a wooded, peaceful setting that represents the state's upland character. The terrain features granite outcrops, forested ridges, and glacially carved hills, remnants of ancient geological activity. Western Rhode Island uplands. The western half of the state is more rugged and wooded compared to the flatter eastern side. Areas like the Arcadia Management Area and Big River Management Area provide rolling hills, forested trails, rocky ledges, and scenic reservoirs, ideal for hiking, mountain biking, and bird. Coastal highland views. While not mountainous parts of the coastline such as Beaver Tail State Park and Sacanet Point offer elevated, rocky vantage points over the Atlantic Ocean, these spots provide a different kind of mountain feel with windswept cliffs, crashing waves, and open skies. Seasonal appeal. Fall, brilliant foliage, blankets, Rhode Island's hills and forests in reds, oranges, and golds. Spring and summer, wildflowers bloom along wooded trails and the green hills come alive. Winter, light snow adds a soft, quiet beauty to the state's ridges and wooded paths. Summary. While Rhode Island lacks true mountain scenery, it makes up for it with charming forested hills, rocky coastal highlands, and peaceful woodland ridges. Places like Jerimoth Hill and the state's western uplands offer a taste of elevation in an otherwise flat region. For those seeking gentle hikes, seasonal beauty, and ocean meets upland views, Rhode Island provides a subtle, serene natural landscape with its own kind of quiet majesty. South Carolina's mountain scenery is found in the northwestern corner of the state, where the Blue Ridge Mountains, the southernmost section of the Appalachian Range, roll into the upstate region. While the mountains here are not towering compared to the Rockies, they offer rugged ridgelines, cascading waterfalls, forested slopes, and far-reaching views, all packed with biodiversity and seasonal color. Blue Ridge Mountains. Northwestern South Carolina. This area, often called the Blue Ridge Escarpment, features dramatic elevation changes as the mountains drop sharply into the Piedmont region. It's a landscape of steep ridges, deep gorges, and lush hardwood forests. Table Rock Mountain. One of the state's most iconic peaks, part of Table Rock State Park, named for its distinctive flat granite face. Hike to the summit reveals panoramic views of the surrounding hills, lakes, and distant valleys. In fall, the foliage is breathtaking, painting the slopes in brilliant orange, red, and gold. Caesar's Head State Park offers a dramatic overlook from the escarpment's edge, with views across South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. Raven Cliff Falls, the tallest waterfall in the state, 420 feet. Cascades through a remote gorge. Rugged trails and scenic cliffside vistas make it a favorite for hikers and photographers. Hokasi Gorges y Lake Jacasi, a pristine, wild area named one of 50 last great places on Earth by National Geographic, combines mountain cliffs, rainforest-like biodiversity, and crystal-clear mountain lakes. Waterfalls plunge directly into the lake, accessible only by boat or long hike. The gorges are particularly lush, receiving more rainfall than almost anywhere else in the eastern U.S. Other notable areas: Oconee State Park and Sumter National Forest offer rolling, wooded highlands, ideal for camping, hiking, and fishing. The Foothills Trail, a 77-mile hiking route, traverses much of South Carolina's mountain terrain and connects with North Carolina trails. Seasonal beauty. Fall. Vivid foliage sweeps across the ridges. Peak color usually arrives in late October. Spring. Waterfalls surge with rain and meltwater, and wildflowers blanket the forest floor. Summer. Cool mountain breezes and dense forests offer a welcome escape from the heat. Winter. Occasional snow dusts, the high elevations, and bare trees open up long-range views. Summary. South Carolina's mountain scenery is rugged, lush, and deeply scenic, especially in the Blue Ridge Escarpment region. From the granite face of Table Rock to the waterfall-laced wilderness of Yokazi, the upstate mountains offer dramatic elevation, vibrant forests, and tranquil lakes. It's a perfect blend of Appalachian charm and southern beauty, ideal for those seeking nature, adventure, or just a quiet place to breathe in the views. South Dakota offers some of the most unexpectedly dramatic and rugged mountain scenery in the central United States, especially in the Black Hills region of the western part of the state. While much of South Dakota is prairie and plains, the western mountains rise suddenly and spectacularly, featuring pine-covered peaks, granite spires, deep canyons, and sacred cultural landmarks. The Black Hills, western South Dakota. The Black Hills are a small, isolated mountain range that rise from the surrounding plains, offering dramatic and forested highlands filled with history, mystery, and natural beauty. Black Elk Peak, 7,244 feet, the highest point in South Dakota and the highest peak east of the Rockies in the U.S., located in the Black Elk Wilderness, within Custer State Park, a granite summit with sweeping views of the entire Black Hills, often reached via the scenic Harney Peak Trail. Sacred to the Lakota Sioux, known as Hinhankaga, granite peaks, pine forests. The hills are densely covered with ponderosa pines, which appear black from a distance, giving the range its name. Jagged granite formations like the Needles near Sylvan Lake rise like stone cathedrals from the forest. Narrow mountain roads like the Needles Highway twist through tunnels and alongside towering spires. Custer State Park, a vast preserve filled with rolling mountain meadows, rugged peaks, alpine lakes, and wildlife like bison, elk, and wild burros. Sylvan Lake and Stockade Lake are set against rocky backdrops, perfect for paddling or just soaking in the scenery. Iron Mountain Road and Wildlife Loop Road offer incredible mountain drives. Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse Memorial. Carved into granite cliffs, these iconic monuments are set in the heart of the Black Hills and surrounded by scenic overlooks and trails. The area around them features towering stone outcrops and dense forests, combining cultural significance with natural grandeur. Spearfish Canyon, a stunning limestone gorge with vertical walls, forested cliffs, and waterfalls. Especially scenic in autumn, when fall colors light up the canyon. Great for hiking, rock climbing, and scenic drive. Seasonal beauty. Fall, the Black Hills blaze with color golden aspens and red oaks set against dark pines and gray rock. Summer, green, cool, and perfect for hiking, with wildflowers in bloom. Winter, snow dusts, the granite spires and pine forests excellent for quiet hikes or spring. Waterfalls swell and wildflowers begin to return to the meadows. Summary: South Dakota's mountain scenery centered in the Black Hills is rugged, forested, and spiritually rich. From the soaring summit of Black Elk Peak to the mystical granite spires of the Needles and the majestic canyons and carvings that mark the landscape, this region offers a unique mountain experience that blends natural splendor with deep cultural history. It's one of the hidden gems of American mountain landscapes, rising from the prairie with power and grace. Tennessee is home to some of the most beautiful and iconic mountain scenery in the eastern United States. Thanks to its location within the Appalachian mountain range, the state's eastern region is dominated by the Great Smoky Mountains, Cumberland Mountains, and Blue Ridge Mountains, offering a mix of misty ridgelines, forested slopes, roaring waterfalls, and panoramic overlooks. Great Smoky Mountains, East Tennessee, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the crown jewel of Tennessee's mountain scenery and the most visited national park in the U.S., named for the ethereal blue haze that often clings to the ridges caused by moisture and plant oils. Features: rolling ridgelines stretching as far as the eye can see, old-growth forests, deep hollows, and crystal-clear streams. Waterfalls like Laurel Falls and Ramsey Cascade. Over 800 miles of hiking trails, including a stretch of the Appalachian Trail. Clingman's Dome, 6,643 feet, the highest point in Tennessee, with a 360 view that spans multiple states. Blue Ridge Mountains' far eastern edge, a sub-range of the Appalachians, extending into Tennessee near the Smokies, known for rugged, forested terrain, wildflower meadows, and steep river valleys. Areas around Roan Mountain and Anaka Mountain offer alpine-like scenery and are famous for rhododendron blooms in late spring. Cumberland Plateau and mountains eastern and central, located west of the Smokies. This area features flat-topped ridges, deep gorges, and towering sandstone cliffs. Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area offers remote canyons, natural arches, and scenic river overlooks. Fall Creek Falls State Park, home to one of the highest waterfalls in the eastern U.S., surrounded by bluffs, hardwood forests, and rolling highlands. Cherokee National Forest surrounds much of the Smoky Mountains region, offers solitudes, scenic byways, and rugged mountain trails, less crowded than the national park. Beautiful rivers like the Tellico and Hiwassee wind through deep valleys. Seasonal beauty. Fall. One of the most celebrated fall foliage destinations in the country ridges turn fiery with reds, oranges, and golds. Spring. Wildflowers blanket the forest floor and waterfalls are at full flow. Summer cool green canopies make mountain hiking ideal. Winter. Snow dusts the higher elevations and views open up through the leafless trees. Summary: Tennessee's mountain scenery is stunning, diverse, and deeply atmospheric, defined by the blue mist of the dramatic cliffs of the Cumberland Plateau, and the ancient, forested peaks of the Whether you're driving along the Foothills Parkway, hiking the Appalachian Trail, or relaxing by a stream in the Smokies, Tennessee offers a soul-stirring mountain experience in every season. Vermont's mountain scenery is among the most iconic in New England, defined by the rolling ridges of the Green Mountains, forested peaks, and idyllic valleys dotted with farms and villages. Known for its peaceful charm and for season beauty, Vermont offers a softer, older kind of mountain landscape, rich in color, history, and tranquility. The Green Mountains. The Green Mountains run north to south through the heart of the state, forming Vermont's mountain backbone and giving the state its name. Vermont in French means Green Mountain. Mount Mansfield, 4,393 feet. Vermont's highest peak, located near, features alpine tundra, windswept ridges, and broad panoramic views from the summit. Trails like the Long Trail, the oldest long-distance trail in the US, pass over its rugged spine. In winter, the area transforms into a premier ski destination. Camel's Hump, 4,081 feet. One of the most recognizable peaks in Vermont, due to its distinctive double-humped shape, offers 360-degree views of surrounding mountains and Lake Champlain from the summit. Known for its alpine vegetation and challenging scenic hikes, Killington Peak, 4,241 feet, part of the Southern Green Mountains, also a major ski area, offers dramatic ridgeline hiking and biking trails in the summer and sweeping ski slopes in winter. Classic Vermont mountain landscapes, densely forested ridges in summer and explosive foliage in autumn. Vermont is one of the top fall destinations in the world. Meadows and dairy farms nestled in the valleys create postcard-worthy views. Covered bridges, stone walls, and white-steepled churches add charm to every mountain town. The Longs Trail follows the entire length of the Green Mountains from Massachusetts to Canada, offers access to quiet peaks, remote wilderness areas, and scenic lookouts. Shares much of its path with the Appalachian Trail in southern Vermont. Winter scenery. Snow transforms the Green Mountains into a sparkling, serene alpine wonderland, home to renowned ski resorts like Stoge, Killington, Smugglers, Notch. Snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and backcountry touring are also popular. Spring is summer. Spring brings lush green valleys and maple sap flowing from the trees. Summer offers cool forested trails, swimming holes, and scenic drives through mountain passes like Smuggler's Notch. Summary: Vermont's mountain scenery is serene, timeless, and deeply scenic, offering a perfect balance of natural beauty and New England charm. The Green Mountains rise gently but impressively, cloaked in forests, lit with color in fall, and blanketed with snow in winter. Whether hiking a rugged trail, skiing a pristine slope, or simply enjoying a quiet view from a country road, Vermont's mountains offer a deeply peaceful and visually rich experience. Virginia is home to some of the most iconic and picturesque mountain scenery in the eastern United States, thanks to its stretch of the Appalachian Mountains, which include the Blue Ridge Mountains, Alleghenies, and Cumberland Mountains. The state's mountain landscapes are rich with rolling ridges, misty valleys, wildflower meadows, rocky cliffs, and breathtaking overlooks, all steeped in history and natural beauty. Blue Ridge Mountains, Western Virginia. The Blue Ridge Mountains dominate Western Virginia, forming the spine of the state's mountain country. They are known for their gentle curves, bluish hues, and sweeping vistas. Shenandoah National Park, the crown jewel of Virginia's mountain scenery. Home to Skyline Drive, a 105-mile road that winds along the ridgeline with 75-plus scenic overlook features. Forest-covered mountains, waterfalls, and rocky outcroppings. Wildlife such as deer, black bears, and wild turkeys. The Appalachian Trail runs the length of the park. Old Rag Mountain, one of Virginia's most popular and rugged hikes, features rock scrambles, panoramic summit views, and challenging terrain. Offers dramatic vistas of the surrounding Shenandoah Valley, Humpback Rocks, and McAfee Knob. Both are iconic Blue Ridge viewpoints. McAfee Knob is one of the most photographed spots on the Appalachian Trail, with its dramatic rock ledge overhanging the Catawba Valley. Allegheny and Appalachian Plateaus, Western VA near West Virginia border. These regions feature higher elevations and more rugged, remote mountains. Less visited than the Blue Ridge, but ideal for solitude and deep forest scenery. George Washington and Jefferson National Forests cover much of this area, with miles of trails and wild mountainous Cumberland Mountains, far southwest Virginia, located in the far southwestern tip of the state, known for their steep ridges, karst landscapes, and historic coal country. Breaks into State Park, the Grand Canyon of the South offers towering cliffs and a deep gorge carved by the Russell Fork River. Seasonal beauty. Fall. Virginia is a top-tier foliage destination. Blue Ridge ridges and valleys explode with reds, oranges, and golds. Spring. Wildflowers bloom along trails, and waterfalls swell with snowmelt and rain. Summer. Cool, shaded trails and refreshing mountain streams make for ideal hiking. Winter. Snow may dust the higher elevations, opening up clear, expansive views. Scenic drives. Skyline Drive and the Blue Ridge Parkway, which continues into North Carolina, are two of the most scenic drives in America, offering dozens of overlooks, picnic areas, and trailhead. Summary: Virginia's mountain scenery is classic, soulful, and endlessly scenic, blending natural grandeur with cultural richness. From the serene ridgelines of Shenandoah to the rugged cliffs of the Southwest, the state's mountains offer an ideal landscape for hiking, driving, camping, or simply admiring the view. It's where Appalachian heritage, biodiversity, and seasonal beauty come together to create an unforgettable. Washington State is renowned for its spectacular and diverse mountain scenery, featuring some of the most dramatic and iconic ranges in the Pacific Northwest. From the rugged volcanic peaks of the Cascades to the glaciated summits of the North Cascades and the coastal Olympic Mountains, Washington offers breathtaking landscapes filled with towering peaks, alpine meadows, old-growth forests, glaciers, and pristine lakes. Cascade Range. The Cascade Mountains stretch north-south through Washington and include some of the state's most famous and tallest peaks. Mount Rainier, 14,411 feet, the tallest mountain in Washington and the entire Cascade Range. A massive stratovolcano capped with glaciers and snowfields, dominates the landscape with its glacial valleys, wildflower meadows, and waterfalls. Mount Rainier National Park offers scenic drives, alpine hiking, and stunning vistas of the peak from all sides. Mount Baker, 10,781 feet. Located in the northern Cascades near the Canadian border, known for its heavy snowfall, glaciers, and rugged, volcanic summit. The surrounding Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest has deep forests, mountain lakes, and numerous hiking trails. North Cascades. Often called the American Alps, the North Cascades are known for their steep, jagged peaks, extensive glaciers, and remote wilderness. Home to over 300 glaciers, more than anywhere else in the lower 48 states. Peaks like Mount Shuksan and Forbidden Peak are dramatic and photogenic. The North Cascades National Park offers rugged hiking, technica climbs, and stunning views of craggy ridges and turquoise alpine lakes. The area is deeply wild, with dense forests and roaring rivers carving deep valleys. Olympic Mountains, located on the Olympic Peninsula. These mountains are known for their moisty, lush, temperate rainforests and wild alpine terrain. Peaks like Mount Olympus rise sharply from dense forests, often shrouded in mist. The region has a unique combination of old-growth forests, alpine meadows, and glaciated peaks. Olympic National Park features a mix of coastal scenery, rainforest valleys like the whole rainforest, and rugged mountain landscapes. Other highlights: Glacier Peak, a remote, glaciated volcano in the North Cascades, known for its challenging climbs and wilderness. Alpine Lakes Wilderness, filled with craggy peaks, clear mountain lakes, and dense forests. Mount St. Helens, famous for its 1980 eruption. The landscape around it features regenerating forests, lava fields, and dramatic crater views. Seasonal beauty. Spring and summer, wildflowers bloom in alpine meadows. Snow melts to reveal crystal-clear lakes and waterfalls. Fall. The forests turn golden and amber, contrasting beautifully with the granite peaks. Winter. Heavy snowfall transforms the mountains into world-class skiing and snowboarding destinations, with powder-filled forests and icy peaks. Summary: Washington State's mountain scenery is bold, varied, and awe-inspiring. From the volcanic majesty of Mount Rainier to the glacier-carved wilderness of the North Cascades and the lush, mysterious Olympic Mountains, is a place where snow-capped summits, ancient forests, alpine lakes, and rugged wilderness come together to create some of the most breathtaking mountain landscapes in the USA. Paradise for hikers, climbers, photographers, and nature lovers alike. West Virginia is often called the Mountain State, for good reason. It's almost entirely covered by the Appalachian Mountains, offering some of the most lush, rugged, and scenic mountain landscapes in the eastern U.S. The state's terrain is characterized by deep valleys, steep ridges, dense forests, and rocky outcrops, with a strong sense of wilderness and Appalachian heritage. Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia. West Virginia is nestled right in the heart of the Appalachians, featuring several notable mountain ranges and landscapes. Allegheny Mountains stretch across the eastern part of the state, known for forested ridges, rolling hills, and high-elevation plateaus. The Spruce Knob Seneca Rocks National Recreation Area is a highlight. Spruce Knob, 4,863 feet, the highest point in West Virginia, and the entire Allegheny Range, offers panoramic views of the surrounding forested mountains. The summit area features an alpine-like environment, rare for the region. The nearby Spruce Knob Lake and trails provide opportunities for hiking, camping, and fishing. Seneca Rocks, a dramatic limestone crag rising sharply from the surrounding forest. One of the most famous rock climbing destinations in the eastern U.S., the jagged spires provide stunning vistas of the surrounding mountains and valleys, popular for hiking, with a trail leading to a viewpoint overlooking the rocks. Monongahela National Forest covers nearly 1 million acres of mountains, rivers, and wilderness, home to old-growth forests, wild rivers, and remote backcountry trails. The Dolly Sods Wilderness within the forest offers unique high-altitude plateau terrain with windswept plains, heath barrens, and scattered boulders almost like a moorland. Ridge and Valley Region, characterized by long, parallel ridges, separated by fertile valleys. This area features rolling hills, farmland, and small mountain communities. Scenic drives along routes like the Highland Scenic Highway reveal breathtaking views of layered ridges stretching into the distance. Seasonal beauty. Fall. West Virginia is known for some of the most vibrant and extensive fall foliage in the Appalachians, with brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows. Spring and summer. Lush green forests, wildflowers, and cool mountain streams. Winter. Snow blankets, the high peaks, creating picturesque winter landscapes and opportunities for skiing and snow. Summary: West Virginia mountain scenery is wild, richly forested, and deeply Appalachian. From the sky-high views atop Spruce Knob to the striking cliffs of Seneca Rocks and the vast wilderness of Monongahela National Forest, the state offers a powerful blend of rugged natural beauty and quiet, remote places. It's a perfect destination for outdoor lovers who appreciate hiking, climbing, camping, and experiencing the true spirit of the Appalachian Mountains. Wisconsin isn't typically known for towering mountains, but it offers a surprising variety of rugged hills, ancient ridges, and scenic highlands, especially in the northern and western parts of the state. Rather than sharp peaks, Wisconsin's mountain scenery is shaped by glacial activity, ancient volcanic formations, and weathered, forested uplands, creating picturesque landscapes that are peaceful and rich in natural beauty. Baraboo Range, south-central Wisconsin, an ancient quartzite mountain range over 1.5 billion years old. Omtodeville S. Lake State Park, the most popular and scenic park in the state, featured steep bluffs rising 500 feet above a crystal-clear lake, towering cliffs, rock formations, and dense forests. Popular hiking spots like Balanced Rock, East Bluff, and West Bluff trails provide panoramic views of the lake and surrounding hills. Northern Highlands, northern Wisconsin, a vast region of rolling hills, forested ridges, glacial lakes, and remote wilderness. Part of the Canadian Shield, the terrain is ancient, rocky, and rugged. Highlights include Timms Hill, 1,951 feet, the highest point in Wisconsin, offers an observation tower with sweeping views of the surrounding North Nicollet National Forest. Miles of hiking and scenic drives through mixed hardwood and pine forests. Driftless Area, southwestern Wisconsin, a unique region that escaped glaciation, leaving behind dramatic ridges, deep river valleys, and rugged terrain. Known for its high bluffs overlooking the Mississippi River, especially near towns like Prairie du Chien, La Crosse, and offers scenic drives biking routes and lookout points such as Grandad Bluff in La Crosse, panoramic views over the city and Mississippi River, Wildcat Mountain State Park, forested hills and winding rivers viewed from high ridge. Seasonal scenery. Fall. Wisconsin's hills and ridges come alive with vivid autumn colors, especially in the Baraboo Range and Driftless region. Summer. Forests are lush and trails wind through green hills, wildflowers, and hidden lakes. Winter. Snow blankets the bluffs and pine ridges, turning the Northwoods and state parks into quiet winter wonderlands, perfect for snowshoeing or cross-country skiing. Summary. While Wisconsin lacks dramatic peaks, it offers gently rugged, deeply scenic highlands and ridges with ancient geologic roots and rich forest cover. From the rocky bluffs of Devil's Lake to the elevated wilderness of Teams Hill and the glacially carved valleys of the Driftless area, Wisconsin's mountain-like scenery is subtle, soulful, and often breathtaking in its quiet majesty. Ideal for hiking, photography, and peaceful nature escapes. It's a place where geology and tranquility meet. Wyoming is home to some of the most dramatic and awe-inspiring mountain scenery in the United States. Its landscape features a powerful mix of rugged granite peaks, alpine meadows, glacial lakes, deep canyons, and vast wilderness, much of it untouched and wild. The state's mountains are part of the Rocky Mountain system, with iconic ranges like the Teton Range, Wind River Range, Absaroka Range, and parts of Yellowstone National Park. Teton Range, northwestern Wyoming, arguably the most iconic mountain range in the state, and one of the most recognizable in the country. Part of Grand Teton National Park features jagged granite peaks, including Grand Teton 13,775 feet, rising sharply from the valley floor with no foothills. Alpine lakes like Jenny Lake and Jackson Lake reflect the mountains in their calm waters. Wildflower-filled meadows, glaciers, and dramatic elevation contrasts. Spectacular at sunrise and sunset, with the Tetons often bathed in alpine glow. Wind River Range, central west Wyoming. Less famous but beloved by serious backpackers and mountaineers, home to Gannett Peak 13,810 feet. The highest point in Wyoming, remote and wild. The range includes towering granite peaks, glacier-carved valleys, and over 40 named glaciers, the largest concentration in the lower 40. Pristine alpine lakes, like Titcomb Basin and Green River Lakes. Abundant wildlife and incredible solitude, with trails deep into the wilderness. Absaroka Rings, stretching into Yellowstone and Shoshone National Forest. A rugged volcanic range forming the eastern boundary of Yellowstone National Park, characterized by dark, dramatic peaks made of volcanic rock, wild backcountry, and grizzly bear territory. Less traveled than the Tetons, but equally striking in its remoteness and scale. Bighorn Mountains, north-central Wyoming, a massive, isolated range rising from the plains, offering sweeping views, canyon drives, and high mountain plateaus, popular for hiking, camping, and scenic driving on the Bighorn Scenic Byway. Unique geological formations and colorful rock layers in Shell Canyon, Yellowstone National Park, northwestern Wyoming. While known for geothermal features, the park also includes mountain scenery, Absaroka and Gallatin Ranges, towering cliffs, volcanic plateaus, and bison-dotted valleys with snowy peaks in the background. Mount Washburn offers a panoramic view of the surrounding ranges and geothermal basins. Seasonal beauty. Spring. Snowmelt fills rivers and waterfalls. Wildflowers bloom in alpine valleys. Summer. Best time for hiking and backpacking. In high country, green meadows and clear skies dominate. Fall, golden aspens and cottonwoods brighten the foothills and valleys. Wildlife is active. Winter. Snow transforms the Tetons and Wind River Range into pristine alpine wilderness, popular for skiing and backcountry snow travel. Summary: Wyoming's mountain scenery is wild, grand, and elemental, filled with soaring peaks, silent valleys, and untouched alpine wilderness. From the iconic grandeur of the Tetons to the remote majesty of the Wind Rivers and the volcanic drama of the Alps, it's a landscape that speaks to those who love raw nature, high adventure, and vast open skies. Whether you're a hiker, climber, photographer, or quiet observer, Wyoming's mountains are an unforgettable experience.